It is 6 o'clock. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Broncos topped the Raiders 10-7 last night on Thursday Night Football, a game that featured more penalties, 22, than first downs, 20. The Broncos get their seventh straight win on the season and improved to 8-2 on the year. Broncos quarterback Bo Nix threw for 150 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions in the win. The Broncos defense allowed just 188 total yards, sacked Geno Smith 6 times, as well as getting an interception. The Nashville Predators fall to the Philadelphia Flyers 3-1 at Bridgestone Arena last night. Philip Forsberg scored his 7th goal of the season. The Preds are up on home ice tomorrow afternoon as they face the Dallas Stars. Puck drop at 2:30. Nashville Soccer Club faces a win-or-go-home scenario as they face Inter Miami CF for Game 3 in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs tomorrow night. The match is at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale with first kick at 7 p.m. Central. You can hear Will Bowling and Eddie Carvacho with the call right here on 104.5. The Zone pregame starts at 6:30. And in college football, number 16 Vanderbilt hosts Auburn at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon on SEC Network. Vanderbilt is the 6.5-point favorite. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Friday morning on Ramon and Will is fueled by coffee, celebrating another week. Celebrating a Friday morning here for the next 4 hours on the show. 615-737-1045. He is the 11-year NFL veteran and Vol for life, Ramon Foster. Justin Hawkins, who sounds like he could have sultry tones, talking about smooth jazz this morning. Making the show happen. I'm Will Bowling, streaming the show live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Whatever your best remedy is to get your voice back, Justin Hawkins could use it.
I'm in the worst way.
Fine.
I need any and all takers. Yesterday it was Mike Keith with pineapple.
Yeah.
I've had 3 cups of tea. I've had a lot of cough drops. I've had some medicine that's supposed to help a sore throat, which I don't really even have. It's just no voice. There's just no voice. It's gone.
Yeah, it's tough.
As I'm sounding like I'm entering my 13-year-old stage of puberty.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound as bad over the air.
It doesn't.
Well, that's good.
As it does just talking.
Well, in my head, it sounds terrible.
It's probably because you're a little congested. Is that why?
No, it's literally just the voice.
It's just the throat box?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not fun.
I'm going to blame Joseph Bonanno.
Okay.
So
yeah, he is going through
so
it.
I think it was Tuesday. He was down bad.
Yeah, he was.
And he called Bert his what do you call him? His taking care of his mama,
his baby mama,
his baby mama, or something like that. So
he did. Speaking of that, he been over here. Let me go ahead and spray this mic off real quick.
Yeah, he was sick. So I'm going to blame him for why I sound like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe turn the mic off to just clean it. You're just going to hear just this.
I didn't know it was that sensitive.
Oh, my God. That's how you know it's Friday.
Ridiculous.
Let me turn the mic off real
Absolutely
quick.
ridiculous. This is what happens when we don't have a game to preview tomorrow for the Titans or Vols. We do have a loaded show today, though, for you coming up. A lot of great guests this morning.
We do.
VolQuest Brent Hubs at 7:20. What's next for Tennessee out of the bye week with him at hour 2. Apple TV's Taylor Twelman previewing Nashville Soccer Club versus Inter Miami. Winner take all game 3 in the first round of the MLS Eastern Conference playoffs tomorrow. We'll talk about that at 8:20. Ron Slay, of course, joins the show at his normal time at 9:20, as does Tate Matthews at 9 to talk high school football. Playoffs in high school football going on tonight. What are your plans for the bye week, Ramon Foster?
Oh, man. Got to get up early tomorrow morning. Now, this is one of those you can't cry from the yacht situations, but I got to go to Mexico City, man. I've gone before as a player. I think it was 2018, 2019. I went there as for a football camp. They got a huge following down there. The Steelers are playing in L.A., so they're going to do a watch party in Mexico City.
Nice.
I think it's foreshadowing that they'll probably play in Mexico City next year.
Okay.
It's kind of the way I'm seeing this one kind of unfold right here. But I got to go do that. Last time I flew the first one, the only time I ever flew into Mexico City, their houses, be more than thankful and gracious for what you have.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Flying into it like how we have our hills here, their hills are filled with shacks, houses, just piled upon one another.
Different.
I'm talking, like seeing it was like hearing about it is one thing. It's like, hey, when we're close and landing, like lift up your window. I'm like, for what? Well, the houses, the mountains are just filled. I think it's one of the most densely populated countries in the world, if I'm not mistaken, too. So, it's
definitely cities. For sure.
Yeah. Well, Mexico City is the city. Yes. But one of the most densely populated cities in the world. And I got an email with a lot of precautions and just don't and do's and everything else in between. It's like at no cost, do not leave the hotel without security. And at no cost, try not to leave. There's like also, of course, most places in South America don't drink the water type of situations.
Yeah, right.
But there's like close your mouth when you're showering also, because I am an ultimate mouth opener, water spit out guy in the shower.
Okay.
Behind the scenes a little bit right there. But they said don't do that. If brush your teeth with bottled water also.
Yep.
And last time I went, I actually did have a drink with ice in it, but some other dudes did also. And alcohol doesn't kill the germs in the water. I mean, the iced out drinks too. So
wow. Okay.
Probably straight tequila for people that enjoy tequila.
There
like that.
you go.
But that was
good fix.
That's how one of the guys did end up getting sick though. Is he had a mixed drink and he was like, "Oh, I'm fine. This is ice. Ice is probably purified from the hotel system." Did not matter. That person was James Harrison. He was sick as a dog.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did he still play?
No, James Harrison.
When you were?
Oh no, it was
this
like,
when you were playing?
It was OTA's time.
Oh, okay.
So it was like spring. Yeah, towards OTA. So it was. He was sick for probably about a week and some change. Man, I ain't ever seen nobody that dog sick before.
Last night of Thursday Night Football in Denver, the Broncos beat the Raiders 10-7. A game of Big Ten football broke out in Mile High last night. Sometimes you watch a football game and it's low scoring, and it's okay because you think, wow, these defenses are awesome. Mm-hmm. This is really just high-level defensive play, good stuff. Then there's games like last night where the offenses just cannot get out of their own way and cannot protect their quarterbacks. And their quarterbacks cannot withstand any element of pressure and get to their second read. I'm not shocked the Raiders look this anemic on offense considering they just traded away Jacoby Myers and their best receiver is someone named Trey Tucker, respectfully.
I've never heard of him.
Denver just, I mean, you got to give them credit, I guess, Ramon. They're still undefeated at home and they find ways to win and they're 7-2, but they just sometimes look like they've never practiced on offense before.
Yeah, no, it's bad for them. It was bad ball. Thursday night football used to get this reputation anyway.
Yes.
Of it just being bad ball. Like,
Very
it
true.
lived up to it last night. You remember yesterday before the show ended, we spoke about Bo Nix. And I was just like, Bo kind of have those points, too, in the game. He had one of those moments last night like he did in week 1 against the Titans, too. So, it was – Kenny Pickett got a rep last night?
Yeah, because Geno Smith went out hurt.
Oh.
Yep.
Dang, Kenny.
Yep.
But yeah, I just looked up Trey Tucker too. He's like 5'8", like 185 out of Cincinnati, 3rd round pick.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Good luck to that brother out in Vegas, man. But it did look like that. I turned on it for a little bit last night while I was watching my son play basketball, and Geno Smith looks lost.
He does not look good at all.
It seems as if they're already checked out. Like, I get one thing where the team is bad. They're 2-7 now, and I'm just thinking to myself, Geno, you were a friggin' star in Seattle. Like, I've heard, like, nobody really gets in trouble like Vegas like that. So I'm not even going to correlate it to, like, hey, he's in Vegas and he's at the casinos all night long or nothing like that. He just looks
But he looks
bad.
like he is.
Yeah, it does. And Ashton Genty also, was he overrated, overevaluated
No,
also?
I don't think there's any element of that passing offense that really scares you. I don't think Ashton Genty has a chance.
Understood.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Understood.
I think that staff might go one and done.
We talked
Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be there next year. Things just don't look at all what they were supposed to look like. Geno Smith, now through 9 games and 8 starts, 81.4 quarterback rating. He has thrown more picks than touchdowns, 12 interceptions to 11 touchdowns, 6.9 yards per attempt. He's been sacked 27 times. He has been pressured 110 times. That is the 8th most in the NFL. They're a mess, and I'm not going to be shocked if John Spytek, the new general manager there, wants to go kind of get his own guy.
Yeah.
This felt very much like a Raiders thing to do. Go get the flashy kind of known commodity without ever really asking, like, hey, is Pete Carroll really what's best for our franchise at this point? Or does he have time?
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, with how old I don't mean on the earth. I mean, like, as an NFL head coach.
I know what you meant.
Does he have time, as old as he is in the stage of his life that he's in, to just sit here and stomach a rebuild and watch this happen and be patient through it? I don't know that he does. Like, it's just, ugh.
I think we
ugly. I turned this game off. This game was so offensive to me. I turned on The Diplomat on Netflix and watched the last 2 episodes of it. Really good show.
I got that downloaded for my
it's
playing movie.
terrific.
Mike Keefe told me about this one, by the way. They were bragging about it. It was
Yes.
like, you need to watch
Carrie
this.
Russell
Yeah.
is the main character.
Okay.
Very good show. Anyway.
You're acting like it's a Friday. I just want to throw that out there.
What do you mean? No, I'm talking Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
It was bad football.
But I think we all thought that about Pete Carroll when he took this job, though, too, is can Pete do this? Like, does he have the energy for it? And, like, the whole conversation around him taking this job was, hey, the Vegas Raiders need a reset. And Pete Carroll's the ultimate reset coach where he can build it up from the bottom. And it's just that they spend so much money in other places. They got a star in Brock Bowers. I thought the offensive line, heck, this sounds like the doggone Titans here. I thought the offensive line was going to be good. Like, they are the attraction. New stadium, new everything. And Pete Carroll is, like you said, just feels like he took the money at this point. Like, I think his effort and intent is there. But it's also bad when you're not getting good play from your quarterback also. He's getting harassed. Right. I'll give him that, too.
Right. Like, he doesn't need this, Pete Carroll.
No, he doesn't.
Pete Carroll can just take it to the house.
He does.
Just go chew some gum on your back porch and sit in the pool. Like,
Get that jaw strong. Yeah.
I know a piece of gum hates to see Pete Carroll coming.
Just, if you ever want to follow him, follow the rappers on the ground,
yeah,
okay?
It's absolutely right.
Seriously. Just double bubble, okay? Spearmint. Juicy fruit.
He's got it all.
He got take 5.
Except the quarterback. He's got it all except a good quarterback.
He even got a good backup quarterback.
The good news for the Titans is, again, if you are picking ahead of them and ahead of a number of these teams that need quarterbacks, they're going to pay you all their draft picks. To go get theirs. So hopefully Vegas, things get bad enough with Geno Smith there to where they will overpay you some of their draft picks to go get a new one.
Yeah, no doubt.
Live for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. We got an SEC Week 11 preview coming up for you. What is the most interesting matchup? How worried are you about Vanderbilt? You're putting them on upset alert. And if not in Nashville, where is their upset potential in the college football weekend in the Southeastern Conference? We'll talk about it coming up next.
It's Ramon and Will for Window Nation. Man, you want your home to be comfortable year-round, your family protected, and an investment you can feel great about for years. Well, that investment is Window Nation. I'm here to tell you they're one of the best companies around, and we trust them here at Ramon and Will, man. They got an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. They do a 50-point inspection on every window before it leaves the factory. They got over 45,000 five-star reviews, man. And then here's the thing. They got experience at what they do. They've installed, Will, over 3 million windows across this country.
And, Ramon, you can take advantage of Window Nation's end-of-year sale through November. Get 50% off all window styles, and you can get 0% interest financing for 5 years. With a deal that good, have Window Nation come out, head online, schedule an appointment at windownation.com. See how much air your windows in your home are keeping in or letting out or letting in from outside. That's the name of the game. When it's so cold outside, you need the right windows to keep the cold air outside, the warm air inside. So take advantage of Window Nation's end-of-year sale through November. Get 50% off all window styles by heading online to windownation.com. Ramon Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. To kick off your weekend, we always invite you, hey, cinnamon rolls, breakfast sandwiches, great coffee. Scooters Coffee has you covered every day of the week, weekends as well. But Friday calories count at least half, maybe even like a third of a calorie.
Right.
I'm not a scientist, but I'll go ahead and diagnose that real quick. So you need a cinnamon roll to start your Friday morning. I had a tradition. I would stop at a breakfast place that I will remain nameless with my dad on the way to school every Friday and get breakfast on the way to school. There's just something about getting breakfast on your way into work on Fridays that just feels right. Scooters Coffee is your place to do it. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Ramon, how worried are you about Vanderbilt against Auburn tomorrow?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll be quite honest with you. I'm probably at a 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm way higher than that.
I feel like our guy, Chris Lee, and I love having Chris Lee on, but I feel like he feels like how we do in moments like this, the way he talked about that would be the case. Like, and I get it. Like, Chris, you just like me is what I was saying as he was talking about how hesitant he was to say how, this game is going to go for Vanderbilt. But I look at them and say, man, this is set for the table set for them. A team that has a coach that understands how big these moments are kind of pushes that to the players. Like, I don't see Vandy fumbling like this as much as they did. And like against Texas, I just can't see it with how they've played this year. You're going to have to break this one down to me because I've heard him say it, I heard you say it, and others say this Auburn defense is treacherous.
It's very good. Well, you used an important word there, though, in your analysis.
What's that?
Fumbling.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
By literally fumbling.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia could put his team in a tough position tomorrow. So here's the thing. Auburn is 9th in all of college football against the run. They are a bit more vulnerable against the pass. They're allowing only 83 yards per game on the ground. Auburn is also 17th in college football with a +7 turnover margin, which is surprising because last season, with Peyton Thorne as their quarterback for a lot of the year, they were on a per-play basis, actually one of the better offenses and defenses in the SEC, and then they would just literally fumble or throw the ball to the other team in the worst possible moment.
Understood.
This season, it's been a lot of different issues that have plagued the Auburn Tigers under Hugh Freeze. They are not turning it over nearly as much. They're not getting to the red zone and then just coughing it up. They're just having trouble getting to the red zone. They don't throw the ball well over the middle. They have one of the best receivers in college football named Cam Coleman, who I know many Titans fans that I follow on Twitter have already started asking to be wearing two-tone blue in a couple of years, and I would not be mad about that whatsoever. But Auburn's pathway to beating Vanderbilt starts with creating turnovers.
Yeah.
There's just something about playing meaningful games in November. And we see it time and time again, Ramon. This is not a Vanderbilt conversation. This is not even really a Tennessee conversation. It's just the reality of college football that 18 to, I'll say, usually would say 22-year-olds, but with Diego Pavia, 18 to 24-year-olds. This time of year, when you are playing in a game as a program for the first time ever at home as a favorite with playoff implications, there's just something a little bit different about it. Mistakes are magnified that much more. One turnover and all of a sudden people in the crowd are, here we go. Uh-oh. Are we back to being Vandy again? That's the thing that Vanderbilt has to protect against. How do you handle success these next two games as a favorite against Auburn and Kentucky with two defenses that could have some success against you? Now, here's where Vanderbilt, I think, will feel good about this matchup coming in. Vandy is 8th nationally still in third down percentage on offense. If they stay out of their own way, they're also one of the most penalized teams in the SEC and in college football. If they minimize the stupid penalties, if they just stay on schedule, and if Diego Pavia doesn't look at who's on the sideline and just looks at who's on the field with him, they should be totally fine in this game. But Ramon, you and I both know that's not the way college football works, is it?
No, it's not. And it's such a copycat league, too, just looking at what Texas was able to do to him. If you're telling me that Auburn defense is somewhat similar to how they can get after him, I think when you look at what Texas was, except for like the last third quarter and fourth quarter
They're
of the
playing
game.
prevent defense, just sitting back to limit explosive plays and then still give up explosive plays.
And like I felt Texas was good and disciplined when it came down to how they attacked Vanderbilt and how Vanderbilt was able to just do nothing is the way I viewed it until you saw Diego catch that momentum. That's one thing I do look at a team on the opposite side of it too, like Auburn. Auburn's dealt with a lot of bad this year too. Now, they got the new coach bump. They got a lot of other things going on
Still
right
a talented roster as well.
And how do they handle, to your point, that same adversity of not going into the tanker, right? Vanderbilt's issue is they got to look at the more optimistic side of this thing. If we just do our job, our hopes and dreams are in our hands. So it honestly, Will, to your point, is a tale of two halves. I thought Texas and how they went about it for 3.5 quarters. No, 2.5 quarters is the third half of it to me. Honestly, they got too emotional. The prevent defense they were playing, I felt like they should have kept the same plan, but again, Vandy caught a little bit of momentum. When I saw Diego Pavia grab that defender on the sideline, and he pretty much hip-tossed him and got a 15-yard penalty against Texas, I was just like, okay, yeah, this guy knows the ins and outs of the game. Did you actually see that too?
Yeah.
Did you think what I thought, like that wasn't on the defender?
No, I mean, I just think that Diego is good at winding up the opponent, is what I thought. They're just like, oh, there we go again.
And Texas got wound up again. Yeah.
They did. Ashton Daniels last week only threw for 108 yards. He was 13 of 28 with no touchdowns and a pick against the Kentucky Wildcats in a 10-3 loss at home. He also carried the ball 15 times for 48 yards. Vandy has been susceptible to giving up some big explosives. Is that enough to allow Auburn to hit a couple of big plays in this game and give an offense that is not going to be able to sustain drives a little bit of a lifeline? We're going to see. I think Vanderbilt will be fine. I do think they will win the game. I think it's a low-scoring game, but Auburn's pathway to pulling off this upset is creating turnovers again and giving a really bad offense some short fields. That's how they beat Arkansas. They had two defensive touchdowns to beat Arkansas on the road in that game. And B, it is just breaking some big runs or big explosives in the pass game and run the Cam Coleman's down there somewhere play. I do wonder how much more clarity there is in terms of the coaching staff and their defined roles calling plays on offense. And the fact that Hugh Freeze would call a play, that another guy would call a play, then another guy would call a play.
How is
and
it just going to work?
I don't know, Ramon. I really don't know. I cannot answer for the sins of Hugh Freeze. I wonder how much time DJ Durkin has had to simplify things and how much that helps Auburn play a little bit simpler and faster on offense with one voice calling the plays. I don't know. Maybe he is sticking with what Hugh Freeze did from a play calling perspective, but no one in the SEC is susceptible to having their C-plus game just get them beat.
No.
Like that. I didn't phrase that very well. No one is susceptible to their mediocre performances just being a foregone conclusion they're going to win.
No, you can't ride like that anymore.
Vandy's still going to bring their A game in this game, regardless of what the record says and who Auburn has been this season and what they were last week against a not very good Kentucky team.
And also, too, their offensive line as of late, ever since Cole Kublik highlighted them and the physicalness, the physical style that they've had, it seems like they've just kind of taken one step back. If Vandy wants to win it, they got to go get that back. But to your point, this isn't an easy feat this weekend with the D-line that Auburn has, too.
There are no easy games in the SEC this year.
No.
Sometimes there are. This year there are not. That's the reality of it. And when you're playing with playoff implications as a favorite for the first time in your program history, that is a challenge. Ask Tennessee in 2022 against South Carolina.
Come on, man.
And I know that game was on the road. And I know that was a night game in Columbia, South Carolina. But, and again, I don't mean any disrespect. There's going to be a lot of Auburn fans in this game, too. It's going to feel a little bit like a road environment again. We'll see. What is the most interesting matchup, Ramon, to you, besides that one of the SEC weekend?
It is and because I got a respect for them because they beat them more than we have, but it's the Kentucky-Florida game to me. I'm looking at Cutter Bowley and that offense that they're running. I also see what Florida has. Like, Florida's defense is nice, too. They can get after you, but how They have him playing with getting the football out of his hand quickly. Got a little bit of a run game, too, and here's the other side of it, too. Kentucky's defense is very aggressive. They got playmakers on that side of the ball. I think they're playing with a whole lot less to lose when it comes down to this matchup, and for whatever reason, Coach Stoop has the numbers of Florida from each other year the way I view this one. I do look at this situation and say I think it'll be tight, and I wouldn't be shocked if Kentucky wins this weekend. And I know Florida's not what they were or what they were expected to be, but Kentucky did well against the Vols. They just can stop anything over the top. Now, what kind of DJ Lagway are you going to get when it comes down to those explosion plays? From a distance, I like what Cutter Boley is for that Kentucky Wildcat offense.
I think the issue for Florida is that their lifeline on offense is now out for the season. Dallas Wilson is done for the year. And their win over Texas, he became a household name very quickly. He is not going to play in this game or any other game. Leading wide receiver Vernell Brown III is expected to play. Gators Online reported this week has an AC sprain he suffered against Mississippi State. So it's good to get him back. But
what's his name?
Vernell Brown III.
Boy, gotta be a baller with a name like Vernell.
If you sound like you should be in a home, respectfully, you're a good football player.
I'm glad you picking up what I'm putting down.
Just not a lot of mothers naming Vernells in the 2020s
not
or 2010s.
Not a lot of Vernells out here, man.
Or the 2000s.
Boy, is a baller. This is what
maybe
you
in the 1920s, maybe not in the 2020s.
I'd even go to 70s, okay? Man, y'all seen Vernell? Boy, at Penn State nowadays, man. Like, that's what we would say. But Vernell is 2025, and he's at Florida. Let's go.
Another true freshman leads Florida in receiving 32 catches for 451, and he missed the Georgia game. He's been hurt, so good to get him back. You're right. I think that Kentucky is in a really interesting spot.
Yeah.
Because they can't really do much better than Mark Stoops. They just can't. And they can't afford to pay Mark Stoops within I think it's 10 days, millions of dollars. Yeah, it's just they are kind of stuck as a football program. They're at the point where you'd turn off the game console and try to start over when you can't get to the checkpoint you need. I think that
60 days is what they're giving.
60
but
days.
It's $37.7 to $38 million in 60 days.
Good luck with that, Kentucky. Texas A&M goes to Missouri. This game is at 2:30 on ABC. A&M is a 6.5-point favorite on the road. This is, I think, the most interesting matchup of the weekend. Missouri looking for its first top 5 win since 2012. Matthew Zollers will be the quarterback for Missouri, who finished out the loss to Vandy a couple of weeks ago, and Bo Pribula got hurt. He will become in this game the first true freshman to start a game at quarterback for Missouri since Drew Lock started the final 8 of the 2015 season. This is a big Ruben Owens game for Texas A&M because the Texas A&M offensive line, according to Mike Elko, is going to see the biggest challenge that they have seen all season in the Missouri defensive front. What are you asking Marcel Reed to do for this offense away from home against a really good defensive line? If he's running for his life for 60 minutes, I don't know. I still think that Marcel Reed can win a game with his arm and with his legs. But I think that A&M has got to take some of the pressure off of him in this environment against Zion Young and against a nasty defensive front. A&M as an offensive line has not allowed a sack in 3 straight games. Right. And in 5 of 8 games this season, this is best on best is what this is. This is a stout defensive front against the Maroon Goons. That's a matchup you tune in to see this Saturday afternoon in Columbia, Missouri.
I think it's just that. I think it's the same thing that Missouri was attempting to do with Bo Pribula. Marcel Reed has to be very strategic with his legs, when to run more than anything. If you're telling me that Ruben Owens it's got to be their workhorse for the day, cool. But if that defense is as good as I think it is at home, Missouri's that is, he's got to know when to leave the pocket. Like I love a quarterback that adapts themselves to the way Lamar Jackson did before he went to the draft. You saw Lamar, in a sense, just you knew he had the arm, but his legs were the show. And I think Marcel need to be that forward. The Aggies is upcoming weekend, too. They're going to get after him. They're going to close the box against him, and he's got to know when to escape. And here's the other part, too. Go sideways. Create a little bit more. I think that's what Marcel's throwing talent needs to show a little bit more. His ability to pass football, because I don't think he's an elite passer right now. I look at him and say he's a great athlete that know how to find playmakers. He's got to do that in this type of game, because the odd thing about this matchup is, yes, A&M is undefeated, but it's right in front of Missouri, too, as far as their college football playoffs, too. I don't want to call this an upset game because I think Texas A&M is just that good. But if they go to Columbia and lose this one, I wouldn't be shocked. And I don't think anybody else would, too.
No, it wouldn't be shocked at all. Wouldn't be shocked at all. I think that A&M offensive coordinator Colin Klein could mess around and get a Power 4 head coaching job in this cycle.
Straight up.
We're going to talk in the third hour about some of the numbers and some of the why behind the coaching carousel being as insane as it has been. Normally, I don't think a 36-year-old offensive coordinator with so little experience at the P4 level with this much success in such a short amount of time would already be getting head coaching looks. But look at how many coaches have gotten extensions and are going to stick around where they are. Colin Klein is a name to remember. The former Kansas State quarterback, now in his second season as A&M's offensive coordinator. The ability for him with Mario Craver, Casey Concepcion, and Marcel Reed and that offensive line to build an explosive offense just out of an offense we did not expect to be this at all.
Right.
We thought maybe they could be good in the run game, quarterback run game. They can throw it deep. They can beat you in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. That is where road games like this become interesting. Can you do it on the road? Can you take your B plan, your C strategy on any given day? Can you win a game in the 20s or in the 40s? They have proven they can do that at home and away from home this year. Just gives me so much confidence in them going to Missouri. Their win in South Bend being a shootout. Their win over Auburn at home being a defensive struggle. Your ability to win different kinds of games is so critical in the month of November, and they can do it.
And remember what you do in November. Coach Form used to always tell us that.
Who could get upset this weekend? I'm looking at Starkville. I think Mississippi State could have some success against Georgia. Georgia is getting 8.5 in this game, 8.5-point favorite. Number 5 in the first playoff rankings, but they have won some one-score games, some tight games. They beat Tennessee, of course, Ole Miss, and Florida by 1 score each. They lost to Alabama by a field goal, beat Kentucky and Auburn a little bit more substantially. This is an interesting mix of time of possession. Mississippi State, lowest time of possession of the SEC. Georgia, second. Can Georgia extend enough drives to force Mississippi State out of what they do well? Georgia also is not penalized very much on the road. Only 45 penalty yards per game. So you don't get behind the sticks as much. You're able to extend some of these 7, 8, 9-minute drives that they do. I think Georgia can be had, though, in the explosive pass game here. The same way that Tennessee with its offense was able to find some success targeting those young Georgia corners. Yeah. Can you hit a couple explosives to give yourself a shot? Mississippi State is the number 6 passing offense of the SEC. Georgia's pass defense is 9th. Their defense is also 11th at allowing teams to convert third downs. Penalties are a big deal for Mississippi State in this game. If Mississippi State beats themselves, they got no shot. Because Georgia's not going to just hand this game to you. That's not what Kirby Smart programs do. And on the road, still, they somehow find a way to be disciplined and not make critical mistakes in games like this. However, it's just, I don't know. Again, weird things happen with playoff contenders in the month of November. Is this a look-ahead spot for Georgia with Texas coming up? Kirby Smart teams don't often have look-ahead losses, but we're going to find out.
No, they do not. They also got a coach that's still fighting for a position, too. If he wins, Bobby Petrino becomes the Hugh Freeze to Mississippi State? The Hugh Freeze to, Arkansas as it is to them. Huh? To Mississippi State. Golly, I'm tripping.
Petrino's Arkansas.
I was looking at the fact that they beat them. My bad on that one. But what I'm saying is this. They beat Arkansas. They know what it takes to actually win right now, too, in the SEC. They finally close out a game. I don't see this going that way for them. It's an 11 o'clock game, too, Will. They faced an offense that was already like this in the Vols. I think Georgia run away with this one. I'm be completely honest with you.
Okay.
And 11 o'clock, I just don't see.
Okay. If it was at night, I think you'd probably give State a better chance.
Yeah, I can't do it.
But that's fair.
Yeah, I can't do it on that one.
Okay.
Like
Where
you
do you
said,
see
Kirby just doesn't do it, though. Like, he doesn't give up these types of games like that.
We'll see.
Not against bad opponents.
Georgia's been very good in one-score games. Is that just who they are? Probably. Or does that luck run out? Maybe.
I believe in Georgia.
You putting anybody in upset alert this weekend?
Only upset I really got, to be quite honest with you, is, like I said, the Kentucky-Florida game, if that's one to be considered in the SEC. That's the only one that I have that I say.
For sure.
Kentucky can win that one. It's at home, and it's also a night game, too. So how much of an upset is it in this situation?
Sure. 615-737-1045 is our number. Streaming the show live at 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. It's time to hear a statement from Brian Kelly, former LSU head coach, speaking for the first time since being let go by LSU. We'll tell you what he had to say next. Lee Company's annual food drive, Vans for Cans, is in full swing. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Now until Friday, November 21st, Lee Company will be collecting canned food items and other non-perishable goods in partnership with local food banks to provide meals for our neighbors in need this Thanksgiving. You can also donate online if you can't make it out in person at leecompany.com/Vans, the number 4 cans. Every dollar donated equates to 4 meals given. So make a difference with Lee Company and this year's holiday food drive by visiting leecompany.com/Vans, the number 4 cans, through Friday, November the 21st. This is why I love working with Lee Company. The way that they are involved in our communities is a business that has been a staple here in Middle Tennessee with 14 community locations, trusted since 1944. This is a great way to get involved and help out our neighbors during the holiday season. Head online. You can donate there, leecompany.com/Vans, the number 4 cans, through Friday, November 21st.
Hey dads, want an epic night with your kids? Head to Nissan Stadium for the Nashville All-Pro Dad Experience. On November 7th from 6 to 8:30 p.m., you'll make memories with your family as you run on the field and enjoy bonding activities. Expect fun, laughs, and fatherhood tips from Tennessee Titans long snapper Morgan Cox to help you be a better dad. All for less than a trip through the drive-thru. Just $35 gets you an unforgettable time with your kids. Register today at allprodad.com/events. The Nashville All-Pro Dad Experience is brought to you by Amazon, Arby's Foundation, Coca-Cola Consolidated, Colgate Bright Smiles, Bright Futures, and Pinnacle Financial Partners.
Wrapping up hour one this morning, Friday on Ramon and Will. Every day on Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins at the controls. Brent Hubs of AllQuest coming up in a half hour. We'll take a look at the AFC South slate. Without the Titans, we're giving you things to watch in the football world this weekend. Only 2 games in the AFC South to tell you about. We'll do that coming up in 10 minutes. Brian Kelly, in a statement yesterday, Ramon says, moving to Baton Rouge 4 years ago, my family and I were clear. There would be no halfway. We would be all in for LSU and Louisiana. Were you, Brian? This journey began with great expectations and a fake Louisiana accent. He didn't say that part. With my own vision of how to get there, sometimes the journey does not end the way we hope. I'm going to stop doing the fake Southern accent. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't really very Cajun. It was a little more panhandle, but that's okay.
It was good.
A little panhandle going on there. What's your gut feeling on where LSU goes next? Do you have any more of an inkling on what happens here? Because I got nothing for you, man. I'll be honest with you. After talking to Taylor yesterday, Taylor Zarzer, I don't know if Lane Kiffin's going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And all of a sudden, like, it just gets harder to go get a proven name.
Yeah. I think it's easier, and I say this and some people are going to look at me sideways, I think it's easier for what Lane Kiffin has done for him to sell what you can do in Oxford with him than it is for him to reset himself, go to Baton Rouge, have a different level of expectation, and also win over all those high school coaches again. Like with Lane, I think he'll be fine wherever he would choose to go, but I think he's built up Oxford, Ole Miss so much that is almost, I don't want to say it's foolish because you go when you're hot. It's the same conversation we're having about Clark Lee in this same conversation. But the fact that he's got his boosters behind him and he's got his kids embedded in that community, that's the other part I feel like Lane never had to deal with as much, was his kids are now currently a part of that culture there too. Like, I know he can take his son, Knox, I think is his kid's name.
Quarterback at Oxford High School.
Oxford High School. I'm sure he can take him and go down to one of those St. Jesuit schools in Louisiana. Like, I'm sure he could. But do you really want to as a parent? Like, that led to be quite honest with you, my retirement was my kids getting older and not wanting to switch schools and be back and forth from Pittsburgh to Hendersonville. Like, that plays a part in it. So if I'm going to roll with what Taylor Zarza told us. Lane's maturity, mindset, outlook on what he's doing as a coach is just different. So for LSU, to answer your question, I don't know, because I've seen their social media, fans of LSU Tigers, they think they're just going to go pluck somebody. And I don't think it's that simple for them moving forward.
I agree. There's one name out there that started to surface the other day that I think is really interesting for a number of these openings. Josh Pate on with the Bus with the Boys guys, the weekly show and segment that they do. He put this on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And said he was ready to just toss a grenade into all of this and throw out a name. And said it didn't mention any jobs. It mentioned the context of where, just made the statement, and I quote, pay attention to Lincoln Riley's name at USC. Is there someone like that hasn't hit the heights, hasn't met the expectations, that could be motivated to look around a little bit and say, you know what, my style of football doesn't fit here? Lincoln Riley would have been a fit for the Pac-12 USC.
I agree.
But can you build a roster with linemen and with guys in the trenches that can go on a cold, rainy Saturday in against Iowa? Can you go take your style of play on the road against some of these colder weather Big Ten teams and have success with the talent that you have at your disposal in California? I don't know. Oregon's doing it. Oregon has built an SEC team in the trenches. USC hasn't. And USC is a lot better. And USC is playing solid offense. They're playing better defense. But I just wonder if, even if it's not Lincoln Riley, is there someone like that looking around saying, you know what, I don't think it's going to get any better here. Let's go back to where I'm more comfortable and where I can build a roster that can be more competitive.
Where is he as a coach to be able to take this one? Like, he's coached at Oklahoma, so he understands that too.
That's a good question.
But this is also
in the Big 12 Oklahoma.
This would be two coaches that have somewhat left USC. Lane got fired there, so it's different, right?
Yeah, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it
College
was.
football's changed, and Lane Kiffin's
tremendously. Lincoln Riley makes sense to me. I don't know if, where he falls as far as the Big Ten goes with them being over there now, but I do say I don't think the challenge gets easier for him going to LSU unless he's looking at the differences between, like you said, in the trenches.
Definitely not easier.
No, because he's got a hotbed of talent in California. Like USC is the school there. That's the one that everyone likes to go to. When Stanford had a run, UCLA, I guess, had a run too at one point in time.
They haven't run like USC has, though.
But if he's willing to take that challenge and they want to go with a proven coach, Lincoln Riley's the type. I don't know if he's the one, but he's the type, though.
I mean, I think Lincoln Riley, with the right general manager of the program, could have a lot of success at LSU.
I'm trying to figure out who else has hit a ceiling like that. Do you look at Louisville's head coach?
Jeff Brom is another one. Yes. Absolutely. But I don't know if he's met his ceiling because he's not been at Louisville long enough. I think Jeff Brom gets one of these jobs. I think Jeff Brom could be the guy at LSU.
But Louisville
I think he'd be successful there.
Louisville's such a family thing for them, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I look at this the same way Clark Lee is to Vanderbilt.
And Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State is the exact same way. Arizona State guy. Again, the way we rank jobs is different than someone who wore those colors on the football field or wore those colors as a kid growing up a fan of these programs. Like, ranking open jobs is great sports talk radio fodder because you can't give me a definitive yes or no answer to the way I rank jobs because my rankings can be different than yours because I'm going to value different things than you are. Well, the same could be said about coaches. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I just wonder, what do you settle for if the elite names are not available? Do you settle for someone that has not been as successful as a head coach but has done the job and has been at the P4 level and understands the politics, understands the roster building, the management? Or do you go for someone who's not done the job, who you feel like has a lower floor but also a higher ceiling, like a Colin Klein at Texas A&M, like a Tosh Lapoy at Oregon, like a Will Stein at Oregon, like a Glenn Schumann?
Wow. You also have to ask yourself, too, who wants to be a head coach and manage all of this also? Because we're saying head coaches choose not to want to do this.
Because high-level coordinators can also wait for the right job to come open. Do you feel like the right opportunity is Florida?
Oh.
Where if you're not going to immediately be in the SEC championship race, you're out after 3 or 4 years? I don't know. All of this is going to be really interesting. How much money can these teams throw at high-level sitting head coaches to leave places that they care about and leave their alma maters? Brent Key, another one, who is at his alma mater, said yesterday, if you cut me open, see what color I bleed.
Well, who replaces those jobs?
Again, there you go. Like, that's why I think Eli Drinkwitz is not going to be at Missouri. That's why I think Jeff Brom's not going to be at Louisville. Someone is going to lure these guys to take bigger opportunities. Someone who is coaching at their alma mater is going to leave. I don't think it's going to be Clark Lee.
You mentioned Jimbo Fisher.
But someone is. Oh, no, God. Jimbo Fisher again.
As many big openings as there are,
I'm good.
Somebody's going to call Jimbo.
Maybe a mid-level, like a team like Missouri that loses their coach. Like, would you rather go get Jimbo Fisher or take a chance at Alex Golish? Take a chance on Ryan Silverfield of Memphis.
I feel like Golish to Missouri will be another step he have to take again.
615-737-1045, an AFC South Week 10 preview for you to start hour 2 next.
We're really lucky to have Genesis Diamonds here. In the sea of corporate jewelers, Genesis is such a refreshing alternative, and they always stay ahead of the pack, too, with bigger selections, new and trending styles, more pricing flexibility, stronger warranties, higher quality standards. And as we head into the holiday season, Genesis is fully stocked. Case after case of dazzling jewelry. They got rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, colored gemstone jewelry, luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all at a guaranteed best value price, and no commission salespeople. No pressure ever at at Genesis Diamonds. And if you're thinking about the holiday engagement, now is the time to get into Genesis and let the experts help you create the ring of her dreams. They've got all the top designer rings, too. They've got diamonds in every shape, every size, natural and lab grown. Genesis is a breath of fresh air. They're locally owned but internationally connected. They have the buying power to guarantee you the best value while never sacrificing on good old-fashioned customer care. You will never be treated like a number at Genesis. Genesis Diamonds, my jeweler. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrey, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
7:03, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Broncos topped the Raiders 10-7 last night, Thursday Night Football, a game that featured more penalties than it did first downs. The Broncos get their seventh straight win and improved to 8-2 on the year. Broncos quarterback Bo Nix threw for 150 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions in the win. The Broncos defense allowed just 188 total yards, sacked Geno Smith 6 times, and also got an interception. The Nashville Predators fell to the Philadelphia Flyers 3-1 last night at Bridgestone Arena. Ryan O'Reilly scored his 6th goal of the season. The Preds are back on home ice tomorrow afternoon, against the Dallas Stars with puck drop at 2:30. Nashville Soccer Club, they face a win-or-go-home scenarios. They face Inter Miami CF for Game 3 in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs tomorrow night. The match is at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale with first kick at 7 o'clock Central Time. You can hear Will Bowling, Eddie Carvalho on the call right here on 104.5 The Zone. Pregame starts at 6:30. And in college football, number 16 Vanderbilt hosts Auburn at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon on SEC Network. Vanderbilt is the 6.5-point favorite. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A very happy Friday morning to you, Music City, USA. Ramon and Will is on your radios and your smart devices. Streaming on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. You can subscribe and join the nearly 20,000 who join us on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. We are told that about 2/3 of you are subscribed to the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. We appreciate you. We love you for that. Mm-hmm. We would like to love the rest of you.
We're trying here.
Help us help you.
That's all we're doing.
By subscribing to the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. It's not like when you go to a store and you buy something and they're like, what's your phone number? And then you give it to them and they just sign you up for something that's going to send you emails. You're not going to get emails from us.
None of that.
You're just going to get us at the top of your YouTube every time. And it helps us. So why would you not want to help us?
It helps you stay informed, too. That's what we're trying to do here. What's the best way to get the latest and greatest information on your Titans and Vols and anybody else in between? Because we've talked more Vandy this week, I feel like, any other time. We even had Chris Lee on. And I'm glad to have Chris again after this week.
Chris is great. Chris gets after
phenomenal. Yeah.
Falcons and Colts is the Germany game to begin the NFL Sunday, 8:30 a.m., bright and early. You can have football on all day on Sunday. Colts are a 6.5-point favorite. This is a difficult matchup for Atlanta because the Falcons defense is struggling to stop the run. The Colts run it better than anyone in football per carry. The question is, Ramon, can Daniel Jones handle the blitz? Because we've talked at length this season that the biggest reason why Daniel Jones has been so much better this year is because under pressure and against blitzes, he has not only been good, he has been elite.
Yeah.
He is averaging 7.7 yards per attempt against the blitz. That is the highest mark of his career. Well, the Falcons have blitzed at the highest rate in the NFL this year. They blitz 49% of the time. On third downs, Ramon, they have blitzed 62% of the time.
Jeez.
That is 16 percentage points higher than the next closest team. How do you view Indy at this point after the last 2 weeks for their offense? Because the momentum is slowed just a little bit. And Jonathan Taylor broke a ton of tackles and just ran all over the Titans defense. Tip your cap, you move on. But you watched Indy from a different perspective playing Pittsburgh last week. What stood out to you about that offense, and how did Pittsburgh have so much success against the Colts offense?
They just got after them. That's what they did. How the Steelers have so much success against them, they got after them. That defense has been challenged, and honestly, they've gotten ran over a good bit too. They did blitz them. They got home against the offensive line in ways I don't think they have. Cam Hayward walked. I'm talking about walked Quentin Nelson back numerous times. Like, they held the line is what they did. What Indy has done against other teams, they've moved the line of scrimmage more. Against Pittsburgh, they play a 3-down front, so they kind of hold the point a little bit better than most. Well, in that game they did. And I think it was the embarrassment factor also for Pittsburgh. they couldn't drop that one because they've lost a few in ways they shouldn't have before. And Daniel Jones, again, was the other side of it. They blitzed, they got after him. They pressured him and made him look as if he turned right back to a pumpkin. That's what it was. They had him scared.
And 5 turnovers in that game, too.
They had him scared, Will, and that's what you have to do to a guy like him. But it started with Pittsburgh absolutely attacking his offensive line. That, to me, is his wall of faith right there is that. And they broke it down.
So pressure to sack rate is the comparison of when you are pressured, how much do those pressures become sacks? Mm-hmm. And the first 7 weeks of the season, Daniel Jones was really good. When he was pressured, he was finding ways to either get the ball out quickly or escape the rush or find a check down option. He was not really sacked very much.
No.
The last 2 weeks, that has changed quite a bit. So the 3 weeks leading up to the Titans matchup against Indy in week 8, his pressure to sack rate, 0%, 9%, 6%. This is from Ben Solak of ESPN. The last 2 weeks, 33% and 28%. Meaning 33% of the time he was pressured against the Titans, he was sacked. 28% of the time he was pressured against the Steelers, he was sacked. That's more New York Giants Daniel Jones starting to pop up. We'll see what Shane Steichen can do to fix that.
Right.
They've got such good weapons that it's easier for him to just go to his first read and throw it up and let Michael Pittman make a play, let Tyler Warren make a play, let Jonathan Taylor in a check down make a play. So I don't think it's a fatal problem. It's only a 2-week problem right now for Daniel Jones. And so far, that's more of an anomaly. But I am monitoring Indy very closely in how Daniel Jones is able to sustain the level of just unprecedented success that he has had early this season. We love as sports fans to make two things that don't have to be similar.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones could still be this year's Sam Darnold. It could also be that those are two very different situations, and Daniel Jones has been on a 9-week heater that ends in week 10. I don't know. That's why we continue to watch the games and play the games. I'm just not totally won over that all of a sudden Daniel Jones is going to have a Sam Darnold-like renaissance as the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. I still think a lot of what he is doing well this year is not sustainable.
I think you're correct in the fact that it's Daniel Jones, but I'll also look at this situation and say I think each team is due one of those two during the season. It's just that Daniel Jones, a loss like they just had this past weekend, like Philly's had one. We're looking at Green Bay that just lost to Carolina this past week. Also, it's just like each team is due one because the margin line of being good and bad in the NFL is so close. It's just that it's the fact that Daniel Jones was bad this past game, too. Can he get away from the guy that he was in that offense? Because it's almost as if, like, Daniel, don't mess this up. It's the way you look at him. You got everything that you ever needed as a quarterback. But like you said, to him, it's a matter of can you get away from it? Because last year we saw Sam Darnold kind of buy into what he was later in the season, too, right? That's what he's chasing.
He regressed.
I'll see, to your point, we'll see early if they have a bounce back in this situation.
The Jacksonville Jaguars will go to Houston to take on the Texans in the only other AFC South game of the weekend. Noon game, Jags a 1.5-point favorite against the Davis Mills-led Texans. A crazy stat in this one, Ramon, that I could not believe in reading about this game yesterday. So the Jags are 5-3 this season, despite being outscored by 8 points. The Texans are 3-5, despite outscoring opponents by 47 points this year.
What? Say that again.
The Texans are 3-5 and have a plus 47 point differential.
How?
That is the 9th best point differential in the league. They are losing close games and they are blowing teams out when they win.
What's CJ's interception ratio this year?
CJ will not be playing in this game.
I know, but
also.
I'm trying to figure out how they got to this point right now. That is
they're just
insane.
finding ways to lose. They are 0-5, Ramon, in one-score games.
I was so high on Davis Mills. I don't trust him in this game, though. On 92Q, I picked the Texans to win because I don't know what the Jaguars are going into this one, too. Especially with how inconsistent they've been a little bit this year, too. I don't know how to call this one.
The reason why they have that point differential is they have wins over the Titans by 26 and Ravens by 34. And then all 5 of their losses are one-score losses. I mean, they beat San Francisco.
They did beat
Mac Jones-led 49ers team. Houston is a fascinating team. because they are still the best defense of the NFL. They have no consistency on offense. Dick Cayley, the new offensive coordinator, has struggled to really change a lot about that offense. The O-line's better than I thought they were going to be, but C.J. Stroud's been okay. How about this stat as well from NFL Pro and Next Gen Stats? Trevor Lawrence has a 79.7 passer rating this year. That is third worst among 33 qualified quarterbacks of the NFL. Only Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel are qualified quarterbacks with worse passer ratings this year. Meanwhile, Davis Mills, the other starting quarterback, is 5-19-1 as a starter in his career. That is the worst record among all quarterbacks to make 25 starts since he entered the league in 2021. Something's got to give, baby.
That's just bad.
Something's got to give.
This is Jacksonville's also beating Kansas City this year too. So
Jacksonville is elite at turning teams over. They're starting to not be quite as good at that as they were to start the season, but two teams that are good in the turnover side of the game. Jags are third in the NFL +8. Titans are I'll just name every team without the right one. Texans are fifth at +6. Take a pick. Flip the coin on that one.
That's what I'm saying.
Best of luck.
The Jaguars defense got 15 turnovers right now.
Yes, that's the point.
Insane.
So there you go. Only 2 games to preview the AFC South this weekend, without the Tennessee Titans playing and with 2 divisional opponents playing each other. Coming up on a bye week, what is the latest in Knoxville on the injury front? Is Javon McCoy still pushing to get back on the football field? And much more. The latest from our good friend, Brent Hubs of All Quested on 3 next. Hey, it's Will Bowling. If you've been listening to the show this football season, you know about my new obsession. I love Daisy French onion dip. It's my guilty pleasure this time of year. Guys, at watch parties, at tailgates, I love having dips with chips, with wings, with veggies, the carrots, the celery, whatever you're dipping, you can dip it in Daisy French onion dip. Delicious stuff. Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip are a game changer. As delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. So make sure you try some Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip. You can pick it up at a grocery store near you.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling joined this morning, as we are every Friday at 7:20, by our good friend Brent Hubs of VolQuest and On3. Tennessee in a bye week, but still lots to discuss, as always. Good morning, Brent. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you guys are well this morning.
Morning, Hub.
We're good. It was good to see the crew in action last Saturday in Knoxville. It was also good to see another flyover of Ramon Foster just go totally viral on social media, Brent. This is becoming a thing very quickly.
It is becoming a thing. He timed it right. I'll give him credit. He was dead on cue with when it was supposed to hit. So it was good. I do think that we've got to get him a prop to go with it instead of just a hand. We got to get a bigger prop there, you know.
Okay.
Maybe go to the hobby store this weekend, buy you a model airplane, build one. That'll give you something to do this weekend. Have it ready to go. If there's no flyover opportunity for the salute to service game coming up against New Mexico State, need to get a prop. You got to take it to the next level, Ramon. Okay, that's what you got to do.
Yes, sir. That's all. Yes, sir. I got you, Hubs.
You guys are having no fun at all on the Volt Network.
Either that or you come back and your answer should have been, hey, Hubs, it's a stealth plane. You can't see it.
I like that, too.
No, we got to pay big money for a stuff plan.
That's fair. Brent, when you look at this Tennessee team in the bye week, where is this team trying to correct errors in the Oklahoma game as they head into the month of November that is probably not going to now include a college football playoff race? What do you think Josh Heupel wants to address during the bye week as they get ready for that New Mexico State game, Florida and Vanderbilt?
Well, I think big picture, you have to address your team and make sure that everybody is locked in and ready to go, and that this is not just a playoff or bust mentality in your locker room to where you don't get people locked in, focused, and ready to go. This is not a time for a big youth movement, and you tell veteran guys, "Hey, thanks for the memories. We're through with you. We're moving on to all the freshmen now." I do think you should take opportunities when you have them to play young players, particularly if it presents itself against New Mexico State. But you've got to make sure your team is dialed in first and foremost and locked in to continue to improve and to do the things you've got to do to try to play at your best every week. That's your first step mentality-wise. Secondly, I think offensively, you got to clean it up front. You got to stop the leaking up front. 9 sacks the last 3 games that Tennessee has given up. That's too many. It's pretty clear when they protect the quarterback, Tennessee can move the football. Now, I know Joey made a couple of mistakes, but and those have to be cleaned up as well. But you got to start fixing it up front because you need to be able to run it better and get some balance, and you got to be able to protect the quarterback. Defensively, you're trying to build off what you did, and it starts with tackling. Tennessee had been averaging 12 missed tackles a game going into the Oklahoma game. They only missed 5 against Oklahoma. That was a big improvement. That has to continue, particularly in the secondary at the third level of the defense. You got to continue to try to get a pass rush going. You got to work on your pass rush lanes because guess what? DJ Lagway can run. He's a mobile quarterback. We know what Diego Pavia can do. He can run. So you've got to clean that part of it up. So there are plenty of things to work on, but I think the biggest hurdle right now that you want to make sure you clear is just the mental approach that your team has, and it not be just a playoff or bust mentality within your team.
Brent Hubs of VolQuest on 3, our guest. Brent, I'm curious on how Josh Heupel built this roster. Where do you think at this point he feels like this season, I don't want to say got away from them, but to be fair to him and to everyone in that building, there is a certain level of drop-off that was always going to be expected this season. When you lose Nico the way you did, when you lose the amount of veterans that you did. And we talked with you and with Austin so much of the offseason about how Tennessee made a shift to allow their high school recruits and their young players to get out there and play. And, hey, nobody's got time to be young. What is that balance, Brent, do you think, from this football staff's perspective of, hey, we always thought there was going to be a little bit of a drop-off this year, but also what could they have done better to maybe put more veterans on this team? Is it high school recruiting battles they lost that could have covered up some of these issues? What do you think this staff will look back on and regret about the way this roster was built this year?
I think you and I'm not going to make any excuses for them, but it's going to sound like I am first and foremost. So let's get through the injury part of it.
Sure.
Okay, and where are you on the back end if Javon McCoy had been back, say October 1st, first part of October? Where would you have been and had Ricky Gibson not gotten hurt? What do you look like at corner? Okay, so you thought you were going to be better at corner than what you were. The whole Boo Carter thing hasn't worked. Okay, I'm not going to get into whatever. It just it hadn't worked. I mean, July was a bad deal, and it's not gotten right since July in way too many ways. So who's to blame there? I mean, I think everybody's got some blame in that deal and just how that situation was managed. He's certainly not a second-year player you expected to have in your program. You were expecting much more out of him, and that starts with the coaches. You got to get it out of him, and Tennessee didn't get it out of him. So there's plenty of blame to go around there. It's not just Boo Carter. It's they just haven't. I mean, they haven't played well. They haven't played clean enough, and I thought this team would, because of the youth, this team would have a large amount of growth from game 1 to game 9. I don't know that they've grown the way any of us thought that they would grow during those times. Should they be better at safety? Yes, they have to be better at safety. They have to play better at safety, whether that's coaching better talent, combination of all of it. They've got to play the safety position better. I am surprised that they've run the ball the way that they have. I thought they would be a better running football team than what they've been. They have not run the football very well. That's probably the biggest surprise to me on the offensive side from a negative standpoint. They're better at receiver than I thought. They're not as good at defensively as I thought. They've not gotten the interior pass rush on the defensive line. I mean, I think when you look at that question, everything you say is, well, they just should have gone to the portal and got, 4 more players, or they should have gone to the portal and got this or that. And maybe they should have gone to the portal and got another guy here or another guy there. But, boy, they just have not improved the way I thought they would improve in some spots with young players. And I think that's the frustration part for fans. I think it's the frustrating part for the coaching staff as well, is they've just not made that continual growth that you would like to see them make, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, I guess, and the offensive line.
We're joined by Brent Hubs this morning of All Question on 3. Hubs is kind of where I wanted to go, the football business side of it, man. I see in the War Room you put Tennessee is looking for a new director of scouting. Brandon Lawson is leaving the program. With that being said, with how you've somewhat described, the growth and the players and, the decisions that have to get made, does Hypo go outside and find somebody who specializes in that world of scouting, like a pro guy, somebody that's kind of been successful somewhere else?
I don't know what he's going to do there. They've obviously shifted some responsibilities in that world. They've placed the title of Executive Director of Football Management on Billy High. Nobody's really sure what that means from a job description and a job title standpoint. If you've listened to me on this show, you've heard me say it before and time again. Whether it's one guy, whether it's 5 guys in a department or whatever it is, you have to have a group of people or a person that is single-minded on one thing and one thing only, and that is roster management 365 days out of the year. If you have not spent time this week talking to your position coaches, your coordinators, and your head coach about what are you going to do with player X, Y, and Z? Which one do you anticipate coming to you and asking for more money? Probably X, Y, and Z, but how much are you going to change their salary, if you will? Let's just call it what it is. How much are you going to change that? What's somebody's value? What are they worth? How important are they to your future plans that you need to keep them or you don't need to keep them? What areas does this position coach say, hey, I've got to have help here? Now, every position coach is going to say, I need more. Every one of them. Your offensive line coach is going to say, I don't have enough tackles. I don't have enough guards. Your linebackers coach, I don't have enough linebackers. Everybody's going to say that they need more. Somebody has to be the gatekeeper and say, you know what? We've got enough. All right, you need to play these guys more. You got to play these younger players more, or you got to do this, or you know what? We are talent poor there, or we are thin in numbers there. We got to go get some people at this position. Who are we looking at? Who do we like? Who is a potential to go in? Let's look at all these programs that are losing their head coach. Which one of these guys may go in the portal? Or some guys there that we like, that we want to look at, that we want to dive deeper into? Do we get somebody to reach out to their agent, figure out where their interest is? My point in all of that is those people don't even need to be on the sidelines on game day, to be honest with you. They don't have any role there. Their role is all about scouting future opportunity, future players in the high school ranks and the portal ranks, and identifying needs very early in the process, and those needs will change. What you thought you needed in August, you may not need right now. Or what you thought you didn't need in August, you may need more of right now. That has to be on the forefront of the mind of that group of people or that individual all the time.
Understood. How do you view moving forward? Also, you mentioned the two corners. Do you get Javon McCoy back in 3 games that he needs some tape? Really, probably doesn't need much at all. But how do you convince him if there is pro decisions to be made about what he needs to do in these last 3 weeks of the regular season?
Yeah, I think that's a total Javon McCoy decision.
Okay.
And I don't think you go. Obviously you tell him and let it be known that you would love to have him back, but that's a decision that he's got to make with his family and with his agent. He practiced more this week with the team, so he has not shut it down just to go into straight rehab mode, which, quite frankly, I thought that might have been what he was going to do this week after the loss to Oklahoma, and you get out of the playoff race. But, I think he wants to play, and if he wants to play, you welcome him back with open arms. If he decides he doesn't want to play, I don't know that anybody looks at that and go, man, what a bad guy that guy. I don't think anybody thinks he's a bad guy because he made that business decision. So we'll see. We'll see what he does next week. And, I do think that he wants to play again in college. But is he healthy enough? Is he going to be able to knock the rust off enough that the film's good film, or is it going to be film of doubt? And that's the decision he has to make. Are you better off playing a few games here down the stretch, or are you better off just continuing to rehab and show yourself off in the combine and private workouts? That's a decision that only he can make with his team of people, with his agent and his family and all that. That's not I don't think as the head coach you go to him and beg him at this point that you got to have him and all this, that, and the other. I don't think that's the way it goes. I'm impressed with McCoy continuing to work to get better. I'm really surprised he practiced as much as he did this week.
Wow.
Brent Hubs of All Quested on 3, our guest here on Ramon and Will. Brent, I try so hard not to ask off-season questions during the season, but a November bye week gives us a little bit of time to look ahead just a bit to say Tennessee's got a really big decision coming at quarterback before the 2026 season. And with Faison Brandon coming in, with George McIntyre, who they clearly like a lot, they're already in the building. And then you see what Tennessee's able to do with Joey Aguilar as an older veteran senior guy who'd been there for like 10 minutes and then played so well this season for Tennessee. How much is that decision up in the air? Do you think Josh Heupel has any clue what he would like to do? Do you feel like it's more likely there is a youth movement, or Tennessee is shopping in the quarterback transfer portal once again?
Well, let me say I saw your tweets on Sunday, so I'm not surprised you've moved on, Will Bowling.
Big brother always watching, Will.
I'm just kidding you, buddy. It's a great question, and I think that's the challenge. As I was talking about earlier on my rant about somebody looking at this 365 days out of the year. What you thought you needed, maybe in August is different now, right?
Sure.
You played so well. I think what you have to look at and consider is how well has Joey played? And we certainly look at it and say he's played well. Is that all because of Joey? How much is that because they've got 3 wide receivers that are really good, that are going to have a real shot to play on Sunday, that are all playing at the same time right now? What can you financially get? Where's your financial investment in the other 2? If you bring somebody in who is of name, a guy who's got a lot of experience, are you stunning the growth of what you have on your roster? Does what you have on your roster decide to look around and explore their options because there's only one football? I think there's a lot of different dynamics that are in play in that deal. You're also going to a harder schedule next year with 9 conference games. Do you feel like, how much is a guy like George McIntyre developed this offseason? Physically, how much bigger has he gotten? Has he put himself in a situation where you feel like, hey, he can hold up for 13 games? And he can mentally handle it, but more importantly, physically, he can handle it. He can take a hit. He can take what's happened to Joey Aguilar, the last 3 games and all of those things. Those are all continuing decisions that you have to look at. Where is Faison? He's not played his senior season. He's coming off an injury on his hand injury with his throwing hand. How much do you think he can learn and get ready in 9 months? Do you think you can go win with a freshman? You've done it before. How confident are you to be able to do it in this league versus what you did with a young player, say at UCF and other stops that you've made? Obviously, Josh Heupel was very successful with Drew Lock at Missouri, but teams evolve, defenses evolve. How teams are playing this offense now is different than it was back then. Where do you think the run game is going to be? Can you run the football and protect a young quarterback? What is the personality of this offense going to be next year? I think those are all things Josh Heupel has to be thinking about, in meetings. He has to be thinking about on his drive home. He's got to be thinking about today on an airplane ride, going to see a recruit, because you have to be. You can't be reactive to everything, Will. You have to be proactive in looking ahead and still, used to in recruiting, you projected 2 years out. Everything was 2 years out in your projection. What do you need in this recruiting class? You're thinking 2 years down the road. With the portal, you don't necessarily have to think exactly like that, but you also can't just react in December to what you think you're going to be next year. You better know what you're going to be next year already. What do we need? How are those needs evolving and changing? So I would hope Josh Heupel's got an answer to that. I will tell you this, you better have 3 scholarship quarterbacks on your roster next year. Now, is that going out and getting a proven guy and suddenly you've got, $7-8 million invested in your quarterback position for one season? I don't know that you go there. But you better not show up with 2 scholarship quarterbacks, and one's a redshirt freshman and one's a true freshman, and you say, hey, here's who we are. I think you better have some experience in your room there. And we're doing all this with the assumption that Jake Merklinger's not going to be back, and we don't know exactly where he's at right now, but guys want to play. And, he's probably looking around wondering if he's really going to get a legitimate opportunity to play at Tennessee.
Hubs, I'm hearing everything you saying right now.
And I'm hearing that I've got to text a buddy instead of going to Twitter. I was in the stadium for the first time. I got caught up in the moment. It's fine.
Hey, Hubs, real quick, though, I have to ask this question because we've seen it twice. I give it to Bama and I give it to Oklahoma. I thought the offense travels everywhere in the Josh Heupel system. But what I'm realizing, and I think most people are also, defense got to travel and to travel easier than anything you can do offensively. How much emphasis, to your point, I know you kind of said it before, but how much emphasis this next cycle does he have to put on defense, considering the offense seems to just be successful mildly with whoever's at quarterback?
Well, I think 2 things have to travel. 1, you got to be able to play defense, and 2, you got to be able to run the football. And I think if you're Josh Heupel and you're doing your offseason evaluation, you got to look at 2 things. 1, offensively, why has the run game not been where you thought it would be? Tennessee's run for 2,500 yards or more every season under the Josh Heupel era. If they're going to get to that number, I think they've got to average like 239 the rest of the way, which is probably not going to happen, right? You've got to be able to run the football more effectively. Doesn't mean you have to run it more, but when you do run it, it's got to be more effective, and you got to be able to run it when you have to have it. Tennessee, let's start there, Ramon. I know you asked a defensive question, but let's start with that. Joey Aguilar has thrown for 40 or more attempts in 3 of the last 5 games. Coming into this season, Tennessee quarterbacks had 3 games in 4 years where they threw it 40 times or more. So you're very, very pass dependent right now. You're going to have to get more balance moving forward, particularly with the growth of this league and road games. You're also going to have to defend better. You're going to have to get off the field on 3rd down. I think giving up yards is no big deal. Bend, don't break. You've got to self-scout and figure out why have you struggled to communicate, why have you been poor in red zone defense, and why have you struggled to get off the field, particularly in third and longer situations? That has to be addressed by whatever means that is, Ramon. If that's scheme, fix it. If that's coaching, fix it. If that's personnel, you got to go address it and try to fix it. But yes, they have to be better defensively, because when you look around at this league, there were 6 games last week in the league. 5 of them were decided by a touchdown or less. What does that tell you? You're not going to play necessarily a bunch of 48-35 games. You're going to play games that are closer and maybe a little bit more low scoring because of fewer possessions. So you better be able to run the football when you need to, and you better be able to get off the field when you have to on defense. And that's something Josh Heupel's got to address this offseason.
Brent Hubs of VolQuest joins us Fridays at 7:20 here on the show. Brent, enjoy the bye week. Good to talk to you as always. We'll do it again next week.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Hubs.
Yes, sir. Brent Hubs of VolQuest, our guest this morning, presented by Ascend Federal Credit Union, your financial partner for every stage of life. We have a saying that Taylor Zarzer has enjoyed that I said about some of my tweets.
What's that?
Where I told him once, I was like, maybe some of these should have kept in the drafts. And he thought that was hilarious, him and our statistician, Kevin Maloney. Yeah. So I was like, Brent Hubs also telling me there's some that should have stayed in the draft.
Simmer down.
I'm kidding. All in good fun. Let's react to some of that to finish off at hour 2. I'm curious Ramon's thoughts on this and your thoughts on where was this year just always going to be a rebuilding year? And where did Josh Heupel and his staff maybe make mistakes in the way they built this roster? We'll talk about that coming up next.
Did you know that up to 50% of the air you breathe in your home comes from your crawl space? Have you ever looked in your crawl space? I get it. Most of us don't even want to know what's in there, but moisture in your crawl space can create unhealthy issues that make their way into your home, into the air you breathe every day also. It's Ramon Falston. This is where United Structural Systems can help you out. USS has been keeping homes dry and stable in Middle Tennessee since 1994, so you know they aren't going anywhere. Help control moisture and musty smells with mold treatment and crawl space encapsulation that comes with the USS guarantee. Encapsulation helps reduce high humidity in your crawl space. It also helps deter mold and mildew and protects your crawl space from pests and wood rot. So turn your crawl space into a healthy space. Reach out to the company I trust for all foundation repair and waterproofing. And that's United Structural Systems. You can go to their website at USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Will Boulding. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you could get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait. No hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low, so act now. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 615-499-5780 and see how much cash you can get today. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay, though.
Wrapping up the first half of your Friday morning, Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Ross Dellinger wrote it on 3.com, 4 reasons why this is the craziest coaching carousel ever. Inside some of the numbers of college football's major buyouts this season, you will want to hear coming up in 10 minutes. And who in the world is going to take some of these big jobs? The other question we will ask coming up. Ramon, I'm curious, and after talking to Brent Hubs, I think it is a really interesting conversation, and maybe it's one that we've got to have after the season is over and not the first weekend in November, on how much of this Tennessee team's kind of story and identity is still yet to be written. Because obviously the season is not done when you get knocked out of playoff contention.
No.
And there is a very big difference between this team going to win in the Swamp, which they haven't done since 2003, and beating Vanderbilt and being 9-3, or losing both of those games, which are very losable, and being 7-5 this year. Where did it go wrong for Tennessee? Are there things you think Tennessee could have controlled outside of the injury luck that could have made a big difference, or was this just always going to have to be a reset year?
I think it's two major situations, I think, that probably hurt you on the back end because of the money you had paid out and didn't choose to go in other directions. Well, I think there was another Colton Hood at another position there. But you oversold that and the love affair that you had for Nico, and I would also say Boo. Boo's situation to me was more of I thought, public love situation.
Talking about Boo Carter.
Boo Carter, yeah. And Nico's also, like, you had Heupel's ability, or I would say inability, to face confrontation needs to be upped a little bit more. If you heard these rumblings in December about Nico, check it then. Fix it. Don't let it fester into the heartbeat of the team and where it creates these conversations. And then it pop up again. I'm glad the NCAA changed the portal rules. Then you had the exact same thing. We were hearing this too about Boo in the springtime about transfer portal. I think the operation of that team, I'll say this, and I love the University of Tennessee and everything that goes along with it, especially on the football side. We're not winning enough big games to allow small problems to fester like this. Until you get the ship right, inside and out, renovated to where it's a well-oiled machine, I think these type of situations are going to arrive. And what I mean by that is this: you cut it off, move forward.
Sure.
Go find somebody else that want to be a part of it. You did find one. I'll be honest. You're lucky to find Joey Aguilar, right, to get the production out. You're very lucky to find Colton Hood, right? But I look at those situations and say, you don't, and I'm not saying he's bending the knee, but you don't have to bend the knee to appease guys that you just like a lot. And I'm not into that. And I see the good programs that have a line, you step on it, that's one. You cross it, you're done. That to me, I think, is where this offseason kind of is biting you now.
Yeah, I don't think there are any major red flags in the way this roster was built. I think the way the roster has been managed is more the topic. And I think Brent Hubs laid it out really eloquently to say that they haven't gotten better over the course of the season with a lot of young players learning on the job. That's the problem. The offensive line that was paving major holes in the run game, that was protecting Joey Aguilar, has struggled down the stretch of this season. Now, defenses are adjusting to some of the new wrinkles from Tennessee and some of the new things they're doing, and I understand that. But at the same time, you're seeing kind of some individual matchups just be lost up front that were being won early. That's a problem. I think that Tennessee has really exceeded expectations on the offensive line, even with a lot of those issues. And I think that their wide receivers have really come on and have continued to sustain. This is a really good wide receiver room, and I think Kelsey Pope is as good of an assistant coach that Tennessee has on this coaching staff.
He's gotten better.
I think he is terrific.
Yeah.
I think that not only as a recruiter, but as a developer, he is doing his job. I'm not seeing enough development of a lot of these young players from week 1 to the first week in November as I would have hoped. That being said, again, to your point and to our original point, season's not over yet.
No.
And that can still happen. They remember what you do in November, as you said earlier, as Philip Fulmer likes to say. A lot of this team's identity is still yet to be written. And there is a big difference between 9-3 and 7-5, considering the two teams in the SEC that are standing in your way of both of those records.
It's still there. That's got to be frustrating and hard as a coach, though, too, to close out a season like this because, guys, it's more of a business. I went on a rant yesterday on 3HL about how the entire game of college football has to go ahead and adapt the NFL model. I got a good friend of mine now that's texting me. I'm talking about erratically, just speaking about sporadically about how, like, these programs got to model themselves. Bill Belichick may end up being right in Carolina. May end up being right. As far as trying to say this is where you develop to go to the NFL. Like, his messaging was good. The execution of it was piss poor this year.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But, like, I think you do start have to treating them the same way as NFL teams do by saying, hey, look, you don't like this, you're fine. Hey, you don't like this, you're suspended for a week. Like, because this situation makes it harder to close out a season and do your job when you got guys making business decisions.
Coming up, a really good piece from Ross Dellinger at on3.com on 4 reasons why this is the craziest coaching carousel ever. Is this a one-off? Are we seeing just the unprecedented winter start in college football, or is desperation and schools firing good coaches and firing guys more quickly? Is this the new normal? We'll dive into all that coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Good people, nobody wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or an electrical emergency at all. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost you if it get fixed correctly, or if somebody's just trying to sell you something you do not need. But I know this, when you reach out to Hiller, the experts are going to solve your problems quickly, and the price you chose is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and are family owned and operated. The motto continues to be, happy you'll build, the service is free. If there's something they're doing inside of your home, you're not satisfied with it, or it's just not right, they'll make it right, or they'll just simply give you your money back to you. It's that simple with them. Their techs, though, are very professional, experienced, and trustworthy, and they're all background and drug screened, too. And when they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech that's coming to your home and a link to track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting time and waiting for somebody to show up to your house. To learn more about Hiller or to book with them like I do, simply visit their website at happyhiller.com.
Work. It's what we do. Part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
8:02. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Broncos topped the Raiders 10-7 last night on Thursday Night Football, a game that featured more penalties, 22, than first downs, 20. The Broncos get their 7th straight win and improve to 8-2 on the season. Broncos quarterback Bo Nix threw for 150 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions as well in the win. The Broncos defense allowed just 188 total yards, sacked Geno Smith 6 times, as well as getting an interception. The Nashville Predators fell to the Philadelphia Flyers 3-1 last night. Ryan O'Reilly scored his 6th goal of the season, and the Preds are back on home ice tomorrow afternoon against the Dallas Stars. Puck drop at 2:30. Nashville Soccer Club, they face a win-or-go-home scenario as they face off against Inter Miami CF for Game 3 in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs tomorrow night. The match is at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. First kick is at 7 o'clock Central Time. You can, of course, hear Will Bowling and Eddie Carvacho with the call right here on 104.5 The Zone. Pregame starts at 6:30. And in college football, tomorrow, number 16 Vanderbilt hosts Auburn at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon on SEC Network. Vanderbilt is the 6.5-point favorite. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show and hour 3 getting started. Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Coming up, we got a playoff game to preview. Here in 15 minutes, Apple TV's Taylor Twelman going to stop by Nashville SC in Fort Lauderdale tomorrow night to take on Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. Look, you got a bye week if you're a Vols fan. You got a bye week if you're a Titans fan. You've got an earlier game if you're a Vanderbilt fan or Auburn fan of the Battle of Nashville. Means all of us can be locked in on Nashville SC.
Get to it.
Saturday night. Right here on The Zone, we'll have the call for you. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock, the kick. Here with myself and Eddie Carvacho. Very excited about that one and excited to have our good friend Taylor Twelman back on to preview.
No doubt.
Coming up in 15 minutes. He and Jake Zivin have called 3 straight Nashville versus Miami games, like us here on The Zone. And I feel like at this point, we could tell you so many just little details about both of these teams because we've called the same game 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 4th tomorrow. So
do it, man.
Ross Dellinger wrote it on 3.com. 4 reasons why this is the craziest coaching carousel ever. Inside the numbers of college football's major buyouts this season. 10 weeks into the season, Ramon, 11 schools have fired head coaches. There will be more, especially if Mike Norvell keeps losing games. There is a loser leaves town game, maybe literally, between Florida State and Clemson this weekend.
Yeah.
Could Dabo and Clemson do the unthinkable and break up? Maybe.
He's been fighting that one.
I don't know.
He's been fighting it hard.
The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th highest buyouts in industry history, Ross Dellinger writes, have transpired over the last few weeks. Brian Kelly, $53 million. James Franklin, $49 million. Billy Napier, $21 million, which is tied with Gus Malzahn's Auburn buyout in 2020. The total coaching buyout tab, Ramon, is $183 million right now. So in data from the Knight Commission, as Ross Dellinger writes, severance pay for both head football coaches and assistants averaged from 2012 to 2016 about $30 million per year. This year, just for head coaches alone, you have seen 6 times that amount of money in buyouts. Is this a one-off, flash-in-the-pan kind of offseason, or is this the new normal to you in college football?
I personally think it's the new normal. I also think, as I said earlier, it's not sustainable. How much money can a university pull out of a rock before people start turning off the faucet? Like I said, faucet. Like that's the issue that they're having right now. Is all of this turnover is. It's unstable for the program. It's unstable for the guys you're recruiting, and it's also unstable for the guys that are inside the building right now where they have the ability to transfer in and out whenever they choose to. Anyway, it's at some point, like, you're going to have to simply just love your man. Like, what Dabo them are doing at Clemson may just be the best thing for the program. Like, Dabo's a proven national championship head coach. There is that side of it, because if that's the case, what happens if Georgia just so happens to fall into a slump as far as recruiting? Because, hey, Texas Tech continue to buy a whole lot of kids. Texas does. Hey, Tennessee found new money. Hey, Ohio State continues to just pour into their NIL, and Georgia takes a slump. Like, there is no scenario in my head right now where I see Kirby Smart should be fired. But this model is telling me Kirby Smart will get fired at some point because he didn't win enough games in a 1 or 2 year slump. Like right now, you're not allowed 2 bad years. To have a situation where you're paying $183 million in buyouts that's kind of wild to me. Like, do I think Brian Kelly possibly should have been fired? Like, there's a conversation, but there's also a conversation to say, how much better can you get? Because if you don't go get Lane, if you don't go get Lincoln Riley, the guy you're bringing in, and I'm all for opportunities, the guy you're bringing in is more unproven than the guy that you just let go because he lost a couple games for you. And I saw the conversation this past week, and I had the huge engagement on Twitter. Beating your rivals matter. Big-time bowl games matter. But we've minimized New Year bowls and everything else so much. Like, if you're in this situation where you got 6 wins, like, you're battling at this point to be like, man, I at least want a Florida game. But now the Florida games don't matter. I see in this article, it's like nobody just wants to accept the Gator Bowl. Bull crap. I'm going to Florida in some capacity. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, now you can ask the donors or the sponsors who bring these bowls on to, be more popular, like the Pop-Tart Bowl or the right. Cheez-Its Bowl.
But does that make players really want to go there?
Where do players want? Like, all you used to want it for, Will, because the money is so much more different now, too. And I got to bring that up, too, is, man, heck, we were just excited for the bowl gifts. These guys are driving Lambos and for not Ferraris, I don't think so, but like
maybe
Range Rovers and sports cars and Dodges and Fords 5.0s. Like, it don't hit as hard anymore. And I can't ask the sponsors, well, give everybody PlayStations on board, because that's not exciting. The model has to change. It's the only answer I have for you, because I don't think all these coaches deserve to be fired. I think they deserve to be on the hot seat.
Who doesn't deserve to be fired, do you think?
I look at Brian Kelly's situation. More time, like, make him coach instead of just pouring money into the portal. Like, close the pocketbook up. No, we gave you what you need. Go coach. I do think there's a portion of it for that night. Yeah. And maybe I don't make sense to a lot of people, but this is the old school side of me that says it's hard to do these jobs now. It just is.
It is. And your floor is lower everywhere when you can't stockpile high school talent that you've scouted for years, because one season where that guy doesn't play as much as a freshman or a redshirt freshman as they thought they were going to, and they're out the door. So you don't have a redshirt sophomore who's been waiting in the wings to plug in when your junior goes down, when your senior goes down. Mm-hmm. So everyone is worse because that talent is more evenly spread out and distributed around all of college football. 4 reasons from Ross Dellinger of why we're in this mess. Number 1 is money. One Power Conference athletic director says the cost of losing is greater than the price of winning. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
The cost of losing and empty seats and apathy, and it's easier to get apathetic now because there is a clearer line of demarcation for programs like Tennessee on a successful season and an unsuccessful season. For a long time, Tennessee's goal of winning the SEC East wasn't necessarily a realistic one. They haven't done it since you were there. I'm not trying to call you old, but they haven't done it since you were there.
That's the point.
Now you are playing more relevant games, right? Well, then you lose those relevant games. There is more disappointment to say, like, all right, well, then what are we really doing here, right? Because there was an attainable goal. Yeah. That's the other thing that Ross Dellinger says is expectations. No one is content any longer with going to the Gator Bowl. One athletic administrator says you have to make the playoffs. I do think there is a part of this that's kind of a flash in the pan. Last year, a number of coaches were guinea pigs. Can we give you a bunch of money we would have used to fire you to give you a better roster? And does that in turn make you a better coach? Florida and Arkansas are 2 examples. A makeup year to say, hey, let's give you NIL resources and give you another shot that maybe you wouldn't have gotten before. James Franklin got Jim Knowles. Obviously, you're not going to fire James Franklin off of what he did last year in the playoff. He exceeded some of his expectations. But Can we give these guys elite coordinators and good staffs with better rosters? And do they meet the expectations? Well, largely no. Billy Napier didn't, and Brian Kelly didn't. James Franklin didn't with a better staff. And then you have the age of outrage, Ross Dellinger writes, saying new generations of fans on social media want instant results and are slim on patience. That's 100% right. We live in a society of more instant gratification. As Deion Sanders has said on the record, I could pay somebody to bring me Scooter's coffee. you can have someone bring whatever to your door.
Right.
Instantly. Instant gratification. What is the balance between some of these guys that are coaching at their alma maters and big-time blue blood program jobs that are open? I have no clue. It is going to be a wild ride. There are going to be Power 4 jobs that come open that none of us think are going to come open because the likes of Lane Kiffin, Jeff Brom, Brent Key, Clark Lee, and Eli Drinkwitz could open up really good jobs at this point. I don't know what is in store for us. I just know it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't either. And the other part that doesn't make it easier also, Will, is stuff is expensive.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the other part of it, too. Like, I know they talk about NFL players and millionaires. You guys shouldn't complain. Imagine how a lot of these fans feel about 18-year-olds.
At some point, the industry is going to have to correct itself and not hand out these incredible buyouts unless they have to. Yeah. Like, did Nebraska really have to extend Matt Rule? Not right now, no. Now, Indiana, different circumstances, Kurt Signetti and what he's doing. But
right.
There's got to be more of a balance of how you earn that big buyout because it costs a lot of money to hire a coach and a staff and then turn around and get that staff a new roster. Because half of LSU's roster is going to leave this offseason when a new coach comes in and wants a different type of player. And maybe there's a different level of a different type at every position. We talk about that with the Titans. That's true now in college football. Except in the NFL, you have contracts. You can't turn over the entire roster because those guys have got to stay. You got to make it work. Coming up, Taylor Twelman, an MLS season pass on Apple TV. We preview Nashville SC and Inter Miami. Coming up next. What's up? Will Bowling here telling you about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. It's my guilty pleasure during football season. Dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching the big game. Now Daisy has come out with a delicious French onion dip and ranch dip, and I'm telling you, they are a game changer. These dips are as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You got to try some. Head to a grocery store near you. Stock up for the weekend and for your watch parties, your tailgates. Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip is at a grocery store near you. Ramon Willow, 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooter's Coffee, locally owned near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. With Ramon Foster, I'm Will Bowling. At Ramona Willer, you can follow the show on Twitter. You can also stream us there, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. The F&M Bank chat has been active. It's been ready to go. We also invite you to subscribe wherever you download podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, 1045thezone.com. Hitting the follow button there helps us quite a bit as we talk Vols and Titans on a bye week and a little bit of Nashville SC this morning. We are efforting Taylor Twelman of MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. He's going to join us here in just a moment to break down Nashville SC and Inter Miami. Very unique challenge, Ramon, in playing a team 4 times in a row.
Never had that happen in my career.
That is something that is specific really to baseball and to NBA playoff basketball.
Yeah.
And I do think kind of Americanizing soccer is something Major League Soccer is good at, kind of finding that balance between how do we respect the routine and the way that this sport works around the world while also making it relevant for American fans. And I'm excited for this one tomorrow night. It's going to be fun.
Does the weather matter in a place like Miami this time of the year, too?
Yeah. I think you make a good point because you bring up a good question because Nashville talked about that. Josh Bauer scored the game-winning goal over the weekend. Talked about how cold, rainy kind of fit Nashville SC in Game 2 over the weekend. And going to be a little bit different down there in Fort Lauderdale this weekend. We are joined now by the analyst on television for the last 3 games of Nashville SC versus Inter Miami. MLS Season Passes on Apple TV's Taylor Twelman joins us here this morning on Ramon and Will. Taylor, good morning. How are you, man?
Morning.
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. It's crazy just how much of this matchup we've watched, right? You're in the same boat as us here on the radio side, Taylor. 4th straight time calling this exact same matchup. Like, I feel like we know every single detail there possibly is to know about both these teams at this point.
I would agree with you. I think anytime, especially now that Major League Soccer's grown to 30 teams, this used to be the league that I played in. I remember playing Chicago Fire, if I'm not mistaken, in 2002 or 2003 about 7 times. So
wow.
It's a breath of fresh air for me to see a little bit of these, 2 teams, 2 very different contrasting styles, rosters go head-to-head. And quite honestly, I think for Nashville, there's only one way to play. And I think they've got that answer. It's whether or not they can execute tomorrow night.
So, Taylor, when you look at what Eddie Tagsett said before this series and what Nashville players have said about having a mentality shift, saying we want to play Miami like we play Philadelphia, a team that Nashville SC beat 3 times this year, and not giving them too much respect while still having a lot of respect for one of the most talented rosters this league has ever seen. How did you see that unfold on the field in Match 2 last Saturday?
It's a good question. I think it helps Nashville. It helps Eddie and company that they got the penalty early on. Compared to decision day in that first half, they completely dominated the game, Nashville did. They haven't really dominated a game since then, but the early penalty from Sam Surge in Game 2 set the stage. I think Corcoran and Bauer on the left side were very strong for 2 players that, quite honestly, you could be skeptical in a big moment like that, whether or not they could deliver. But Eddie Tagsett, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to do it. And I just think for those 3 halves, the second half on decision day and both halves in Game 1, they were, as I said on the commentary, they were very shy. They were reluctant. They gave Miami too much respect. And if there's one person that has seen Miami more than anyone, it's probably me. And when you try to make them play fast and make them play in transition, yes, you're playing with fire a little bit, but I also believe that is the only way you can beat them. And I think I speak for Nashville fans that saw an unbeaten streak of 10 games, 9 of those with Messi on the field. If you allow Messi and company to dissect your shape and try to play through you, they will. They absolutely will. I don't care who you are. They're just that type of team. When you play in transition, you punch them in the face, you get under their skin. That's when they become uneasy. I don't know collectively in Major League Soccer if they have the wherewithal to do that. And I think that's the only way Nashville can play tomorrow night.
We're joined by Taylor Twelman and talking Nashville SC's upcoming match with Miami. Taylor, how speaking of that, how aggressive can Nashville afford to be on the road, and where is the balance between them being themselves and also being smart? Because there's a lot at stake in this. There's a lot that goes through, can I be myself versus what this matchup means?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I also think it's a very simple answer. If you are at all timid or scared, you lose. And so in my opinion, now, and especially, listen, BJ is very smart. He has seen 3 full games. He has seen 3 awful halves from Nashville. He has seen 3 very good halves. The 3 very good halves, it's pretty obvious. And I'll be honest, I don't even know if it was 3 good halves, because the second half in game 2, you guys would probably agree with me, you're on the edge of your seat because Nashville sat in and defended. I think it's an easy answer to your question. You come out, you fight, you try to play 75, 80 minutes in a game that is high-paced, transition, you're out on the front foot, you're defending with a high line, and try to see what the result is. And if you're up, then you can worry about the final 10 minutes of that game. But if you come out and say, we're going to be very pragmatic, we're going to be very scheduled with how we press, I think you'll lose the game. I really do.
There's a wave of just support behind Nashville SC, too, and it's win or go home type of situation. But looking back at this team this year, what should this Nashville team be most proud of and how they've performed in 2025? Where they are right now, got a trophy in the case also. How do you manage the expectations this year and also moving forward for them?
Well, you just answered your own question. They got a trophy in the case. I think that, first and foremost, is fantastic. I think the fan base has been absolutely brilliant since coming into Major League Soccer. I love the Southeast, for lack of a better way to put this, blind belief within their team. So when someone like myself says something critical, I don't care what I said, even if it's 100% true, they get mad at me. I love that. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I love the fact that they scored 58 goals, club record. I think that tells you where BJ Callahan is. Now, I'm not going to let that question go by and not answer it and bring up a question. Now, does the ownership believe in BJ Callahan enough to give him better resources? Now you've got to expand. You've got to build that roster. There's got to be more depth. Guys have played more minutes than they've ever played. Depth is a little bit of an issue there. I think you could bring in a little bit more high-quality talent. I just love where Nashville is in year 1 under BJ Callahan, because I just think they have a real opportunity to be dangerous under him. The way he goes about his business and coaches the games, he's going to get you to play very progressively, and I love the way Nashville played in year 1, and I'm excited for year 2 under BJ Callahan.
Taylor Twelman, our guest, MLS Season Pass at Apple TV. Nashville SC taking on Inter Miami, match 3 of 3 in the first round of the playoffs tomorrow night. You'll hear it right here on The Zone. Taylor, Luis Suarez has 30 MLS goals in 2 seasons. Suspended tomorrow night. This may be the intersection of where our fan base that maybe likes soccer but is trying to get into MLS a little bit. That's a name that'll certainly have some recognition, like Lionel Messi and many others. How does Miami go about replacing him? Where do you think they miss him the most tomorrow night?
Well, they miss him the most, the fact that he's got 600 goals in his career, right? So even if he's playing on one leg, which he's done for the last 3 years with his knee issues, he still has the ability to just pull off the special play. That's where they miss him. Where they don't miss him is he's slow. So more than likely, they're going to play Allende up front. He's 100% more vertical, more mobile. It gives them a different look. Whoever's playing center back for Nashville, if it's Palacios and Zimmerman, you now have to worry about a verticality component to Inter Miami that you didn't have to worry about. Allende would play in wide areas, but it's a little easier to mitigate when he's playing through the middle as a second forward next to Messi. That becomes a different issue. So they gain a little bit more mobility. I'll be shocked if Segovia doesn't come in. He gives them more mobility. If it's not Yannick Bright, same thing. So, listen, they miss the experience. They miss the ability to connect with Messi, but Messi can connect with anyone, and Messi makes anyone look better. So I think it's a little bit of a different look for Nashville to defend because Suarez is pretty much a known quantity. You know where he's going to be, and he's not quick. He's not fast. So you can kind of navigate him a little bit easier versus someone that's 21, 22, 23. Yeah, they may be not as experienced, but they've got more juice in their legs. It becomes a different kind of element to defend.
Taylor, how much is that Atlanta series a year ago weighing on Miami minds this weekend? And what maybe did they do that is applicable to Nashville SC that they can use to their advantage tomorrow night? Do you see this as a totally different Miami team as that one? Where kind of are the similarities or differences to you as they avoid that here we go again mentality?
Well, Nashville is different than Atlanta. So to answer your question first, right off the bat, Joe Willis has to beat Brad Guzan.
Right.
That's a huge question mark for me. Can Joe Willis be that guy? I think everyone forgets, Atlanta won. Brad made, if I'm not mistaken, 9-10 saves. And so he was he was so good on the night that he was as good as having Messi on the other side. Joe Willis may have to do that if Nashville is going to pull off the upset. The memories are in the back of their minds of Miami, but guys, I think we'd be a little naive not to think that Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba haven't dealt with these kinds of pressures before. So for other teams, I'd say, it's going to weigh heavily. Is the pressure on Miami? Absolutely. But the pressure's on Miami when they've got the greatest of all time that has done this, been there, done that, all that. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
It's not as if it's a LAFC that dropped the ball and you don't have the likes of Messi and others. So is pressure on him? Yes. I'm not trying to downplay that, but I am trying to put it in perspective. Messi's been here and done this. He's understood that. And so I don't think that pressure hits ahead until the 75th minute, and that determines what the scoreline is. And I think if Miami's down, the pressure becomes heavier. I think if Miami's up, then the question will be whether or not Nashville has any capability of coming back. And that's why I bring up Joe Willis. I think Joe Willis has to be their best player.
Taylor, kind of to wrap up here, it's always cool, and I think we mentioned this last time we had you on. It's cool that in Nashville, in the middle of football season, we are talking soccer. For me, as someone who's grown up in this city and works with the Titans and works with Nashville SC, it's cool to be able to have this conversation with you this time of year. And I always try to drop in at least one question, maybe for our more casual fans or for the person that's still listening to the show and listening to the Zone and isn't a soccer fan. Maybe for the more league-wide perspective, Taylor, in such an important cycle for this sport in this country. What is the next step for Major League Soccer? And I know it's a loaded question. Moving forward into 2026, where, yes, they have grown their footprint in maybe SEC and football country, and they've expanded. What does the next phase of this league look like to you, Taylor? And what does Don Garber, the commissioner, have to do to elevate this league at a very important time in this sport's history with the World Cup coming to the United States next summer?
You have so many different eyeballs on this league now with the likes of Apple TV and that media deal with MLS now being in over 107 countries. And so now you've got a way different level of interest and intrigue with our league. You couple that with Lionel Messi being in the league and Son with LAFC and Thomas Mueller with Vancouver, all of that. With the World Cup coming here, listen, Eddie Q said it best. It's a rocket ship to the moon. And Major League Soccer knows that. The Board of Governors meeting in the next couple of weeks is going to be massive. The change of schedule will happen. Now they're going to determine when that is. That's got to happen. And secondly, most importantly, and I think Lionel Messi hit it on the head. Major League Soccer's done a wonderful job of evolving and showing where the next moves are. The salary cap and spending and maybe rules on how to spend. I've always been a believer MLS spends a lot of money on that roster. It's just with the rules. Maybe you change the rules a little bit, and maybe you allow a little bit more of an identity to come through different teams where you don't just spend money on your top 6 players or whatever it may be. So, listen, MLS in 30 years, has done the right things, and that is the fact that I am on Sports Talk Radio in Nashville, where if you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be having this conversation, I would have said you're out of your coconut. But now the Board of Governors has to say, okay, now where do we go? We've got 30 teams. We've got the World Cup. And I think first and foremost, you've got to change the schedule where the playoffs and the biggest games are in April and May. Line it up with Western Europe. You're going to make more money in transfers. You're going to spend less money on transfers because you're lining yourself up with the rest of the world. And I fully expect Don Garber, who's done a fantastic job of evolving this league at the right pace. I just think we may need to throw a little bit more gasoline on the fire and get this thing going now.
I love it. Great stuff as always with our good friend Taylor Twelman. MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Nashville SC taking on Inter Miami. You can watch it there tomorrow night and hear it here. I'll have the call for you on the Zone. Taylor, really appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Taylor Twelman with us here this morning talking a little bit of Nashville SC.
Just want to say to the people that are not all the way in, and I'm not all the way in soccer, but I am not opposed to it.
Sure.
It's going to get so much bigger.
I agree.
It's going to get so much bigger.
There are weather and climate challenges with what he mentions there, talking about, and also football sharing stadium challenges, right? If you move the schedule to match more of the rest of the world. So if you're unfamiliar, like the soccer season, the rest of the world is a school year. You play August to May, pretty much how it goes. And there are a ton of possibilities and the players you can get here and the money that you can make and the eyeballs you get by matching up with the rest of the world. There are other logistical concerns out of that, but this thing can still explode to another level that we've still not seen yet.
The issue that I think MLS has here, there's no American-born phenom yet, I don't think, that I know of.
That's here.
That's here. I remember Freddie Adu. When that came in, what was it, early 2000s?
He would have played with Freddie Adu.
You know what I'm saying? This is, there's not one of those. And the moment that the sports shift, the way we're seeing in the women's side, volleyball is, taking off.
Yeah, sure.
You know, there's not that side just yet.
There is a Freddie Adu, though. His name's Kevin Sullivan. Who's been sold to Manchester City for millions of dollars, and he just got his driver's license. Right, he actually might not even have his driver's license yet. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that person does exist, but to your point, it's not a mainstream. Yeah, this kid was born in 2009. He's 16. It's not a mainstream, the whole country knows who he is kind of star, because he hasn't broken through on the senior team level yet. But Major League Soccer's ability to encourage and develop their best players here instead of them going to Europe, to your point, is valid. Because right now, Christian Pulisic is, in my opinion, already in the conversation as the best American player of all time, and he plays in Italy. Most of our starting 11 in the World Cup next summer plays in Italy, or plays in Germany, or plays in France, or plays in England.
It's much bigger there. They don't have to battle NFL.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To your point, SEC football in a second ago. Or Big Ten.
It's a challenge because the way the league is set up right now, you are playing playoff games in the middle of football season.
That's true.
You move things to a school year kind of schedule, quote unquote, like the rest of the world does. All of a sudden, you're playing your most important games, like Taylor said really well, in April and May.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have more eyeballs, and we can spend a lot more time.
And maybe it's not American crowds that are, buying in more, but you had an international team come over here and hold a parade on Broadway. Maybe more of that.
The Tunisian team for the Club World Cup.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying there's going to be American people that's going to jump in, but there's going to be a lot of internationals that want to see this be good here too.
Coming up, the Nashville Predators took it on the teeth again last night. The state of hockey in Nashville, where the Preds are at this point, the alarm bells are ringing down on Broadway inside Bridgestone Arena. We'll dive into it next. Wrapping up hour 3 this morning on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Ramon, I don't know if the Predators are going to be all right.
They usually aren't in the community.
You proud of yourself?
You're so bad. I was hoping you allowed me to walk into one that easy, okay? And I did. I couldn't let the people down, okay? If you missed that bit, it was a good one. It was a good one.
The Nashville Predators are not playing well. Lost again last night to the Philadelphia Flyers, a 3-1 final. After the game, how about this from Ryan O'Reilly? I can't make a 6-foot pass to save my life. I've had one good year in my career. That is as honest of an assessment as you will ever hear from a professional athlete.
That's crazy, man.
He called himself a one-hit wonder.
A one-hit wonder. You got to appreciate a man that's upfront and honest like this, though, Will. That's all I really got for him at this point. I don't know what to tell you in this situation. The Preds have been just back and forth, and the continuing conversation is, do you scrap it and make a change again? It's always this, I feel like, when we're discussing the Preds and what they got going on. They'll hit a hot spell probably around February again?
I don't think they're going to hit a hot spell.
Well, it seems like that's what they do to get the heat off their back or off their neck, whichever one it is, or heat off the ice, because that would be bad anyway. But considering what he just said, that's pretty bad.
The more likely option is that Andrew Burnett is fired before the season's end.
Bingo.
When he just touted super high when he first got the job.
Well, I mean, everyone's touted super highly when they get a job.
I know, but it felt like there was so many answers for him for what this team's need was going into this situation.
Look, the question for me has been the same from day one. It's less about Andrew Burnett. It's more about Barry Trotz.
Really?
The day he was hired, Ramon, remember what we talked about.
Yeah.
And I have to, go back to that we don't know if he knows how to be a GM. The Preds love their own people and their own culture, I think, to a fault. I think they have done a lot of really good things. I think that obviously, the success they had in 2017 at the end of that run and that core, the way things ended with that core, though, Ramon, is the best example of the way the Predators operate. They get way too comfortable with their own people. And they ran it back a couple too many times, and all those guys got bad contracts and got old at the same time, and they didn't fill it with good young talent on the back end of it. They were afraid to tear it down. They kept trying again and trying again and trying again until all of a sudden you're looking around like, oh, crap. We got a bunch of bad contracts and a bunch of guys that we should have cashed in on while we could have. They are still paying for that and their ability to build it back up. I also think they gave UC Saros a bad contract last year.
Yeah.
At least in those years, you knew what the Predators were in terms of they hung their hat on being very good defensively. They had great goaltending from Pekka Rinne back then, and you knew what the identity was. I don't know what this team is good at. I really don't. They cannot score still. They are lacking that big-time forward to help Philip Forsberg. And the guys that they signed in free agency when they spent all that money a couple of years ago have not panned out. Steven Stamkos, there's a reason why the Tampa Bay Lightning let go of Steven Stamkos when they did.
It's showing right now.
It's Titans Randy Moss is Predators Steven Stamkos.
Well, when I ask you this question, the expectations were there, but you got to ask the question, do they deserve this? Or should they just stripped it all the way down, remove all parties involved, as you just said? I do look at these type of situations, and the hearing you describe it is it's to their own undoing. There's not much you can do when you don't look in the mirror with these type of situations, though.
They hired their first head coach to be their second general manager, and a guy who has never done the job.
Business.
I never understood that, Ramon. Never understood why Barry Trotz was just automatically, oh, thank God Barry's back. Barry doesn't know how to do the job.
Nashville's got a problem with that, though, too. And I'm not sure if it's just Nashville or other cities, but everybody, they love their exes, is the way I look at that situation with him. I mean, you have a fan base here that's clamoring for Arthur Smith to come back into the fold or Mike Vrabel to come back home and save you and stuff like that. It seems to be a Nashville thing of trying to keep the fans engaged by doing the thing that you did last time. And sometimes you got to move on from this one. I have no gauge on this, to be quite honest with you, with how bad they are. But I respect the man that says, look, I can't make a 6-foot pass to save my life. Yeah. He goes on to say, I don't know the answer. I've had one good year in my career. At that point, it's time to start paying money back.
He said, the number one center, and I turn the puck over everywhere. I can't make a 6-foot pass to save my life. Not going to have much success if I'm playing pathetic like that.
I don't know the answer.
Predators are 5-7-4 with 14 points.
That's as close season of we ass as I've ever seen in my life. That's the hockey version of it to me. Or at least he's saying he is. Best thing Nashville got going on right now, Will, is Vanderbilt football.
Kind of goes back to David Poyle, because Trotz was the kind of heir apparent.
Yeah.
So this is kind of has David Poyle, his handwriting written all over it.
I know, but David Poyle didn't make a lot of these contracts now. I mean, this is Barry Trotz's team.
He did, but
it's not David Poyle's fault as much anymore.
Yeah, but he brought him in.
I think the organization as a whole brought him in. Everyone there wears that. It wasn't David Poyle just handpicking his guy. Like Sean Henry and the business people and the front office people had to also say, okay, yeah, that works. Like there's a lot of blame to go around and why the Nashville Predators are so bad at this point. But again, Nashville Soccer Club plays tomorrow night. Best of 3 series will come to an end against Inter Miami.
Sell it, Will.
It's where pro sports in Nashville are led right now.
I forgot about
the
SC.
boys in gold.
Yeah, I can't forget about Nashville SC. There are good sports here.
Yeah.
It's just not the major one right now. Jeez. Mm-hmm. Good luck.
Coming up, let's talk some high school football, shall we? Playoffs started last night. Some games to talk about. We've got some big ones tonight all around the state of Tennessee. Our good friend Tate Matthews joins us, breaking it all down next.
It's Ramon Falston for Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, man. Jewel Roofing, they are a family-owned and local business, been trusted for over 25 years right now, man. They're proudly based in Middle Tennessee, serving communities everywhere from Clarksville to Murfreesboro. Robbie Van Noren, telling you the owner's name, man, because he's right here in our community, and they believe in our community. They want to service it. Lives up in Hendersonville, man, so you know this. If you got a problem, you can just see him around Indian Lake somewhere, okay? But here's the thing. They're local license and experience, and not just some out-of-town crew. The ones that just come knock on your doors and storm chase. Instead, Jewel Roofing, they want to build relationships. They want to educate the owners. When they worked on my roof a couple of weeks ago, they showed me pictures of it, explained to me how good of a roof it was, how much longer I probably have with it. But that's just how they operate. They earn referrals, which is through me through trust, okay? Jewel Roofing and Exteriors is your long-term partner in protecting your home. It's not just a quick fix that disappears. And if you don't need anything done to your roof, they won't just try to overcharge you for those services either. They believe this. You need them now. Which, I mean, if you got a hole in your roof, you absolutely need them now, or you need them 10 years from now. Either way, they want to be able to be trusted by you. You can learn more about them or call them if you need service at 615-868-9999 or visit their website at jewelroofing.com. That's jewelroofing with 2 L's.com.
9 o'clock, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Broncos topped the Raiders 10-7 last night for Thursday Night Football, a game that featured more penalties than it did first downs. The Broncos get their 7th straight win and improve to 8-2 on the year. The Broncos defense allowed just 188 total yards, sacked Raiders quarterback Geno Smith 6 times, as well as getting an interception. In NFL news, an MRI revealed good news for Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels after he suffered a dislocated elbow this past Sunday. No ligament damage. He will not require surgery, and Daniels at this time is not expected to go on injured reserve. Nashville Soccer Club faces a win-or-go-home scenario as they face Lionel Messi and Inter Miami CF for Game 3 in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs tomorrow night. Miami will be without one of their top forwards in Luis Suarez as he is serving a one-game suspension. The match is at Chase Stadium at Fort Lauderdale as he is serving You can hear Will Bowling and Eddie Carvacho with the call right here on 104.5 The Zone, with pregame starting at 6:30 and first kick at 7 o'clock. And in college football, number 16 Vanderbilt hosts Auburn with a kickoff at 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow afternoon on SEC Network. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go to the fourth and final hour of your Friday morning. Ramon and Will, we are fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling, joined as we are at this time on Fridays in the fall by our good friend Tate Matthews with playoff football to break down to the high school football world, presented by Freedom Boat Club. Tate, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, fellas.
Morning.
How are you all doing?
We're good. Tell us about Freedom Boat Club and how they can help people out around Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about them for weeks now. Now is not the weekend to talk about it. It would be a great time to get out on the weather, water, but it is a good time to talk about getting joined up. If you're not, it's real easy to do. You can go to freedomboatclubtn.com. And it's boating made simple. That's what they claim, and that is exactly what they do. They own the boats. You go out there and use them, and it's something for everybody. They've got top of the line tri-tunes. They got the bow riders. They got the surf boats. They've got fishing tri-tunes. Something for everybody, right? This is the time of the year, if you've ever owned one, that you're taking them out. You got to get them winterized. You got to find out where you're going to store them. It is no fun. They take care of all that because they own them. They've got 12 top-tier locations across the state of Tennessee, 7 of them right here in the mid-state. You can go out on East Tennessee with the rest of them as well. So looking for something to get that hard-to-buy person for Christmas, this is the way to go. So you can go to freedomboatclubtn.com. They're running specials right now. No better time to join.
Tate, let's start with a game last night. A number of games of the postseason played last night with weather on the way tonight. Antioch beats Shelbyville 42-13. Andre Adams and crew get the job done.
Yeah, well, lost. They were unbeaten, right, and beat FRA in that 64-62 overtime win that everybody was talking about, and then lost to Clarksville, and really Clarksville got after them 25-14 2 weeks ago, then 12-0 victory over Rossview. What's going on? Has Antioch lost their juice? Has everybody figured out the Andre Adams cheat code? And then last night, in which I think you all do too, but I think a really good Shelbyville team last night. Antioch got back on track and had a huge win last night. And Andre Adams went 17 for 26, 323 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he also had 8 carries, 83 yards, and 2 touchdowns in a 42-13 Shelbyville win. So I'd say no need to hit the panic mode right now, panic button if you're a Bears fan. Antioch's going to be just fine. That now, since they were last night, West Tennessee, I don't think anybody in West Tennessee moved their games up. They're waiting and see now. They will play the winner of number 1 Collierville, number 4 White Station.
No doubt about it. Man, this Riverdale at Lebanon game, how you see this one unfolding this weekend?
Well, this is one. It's kind of funny, like with the way the weather is, Moan. You start playing chess, right? Riverdale, I believe, wanted to move the game to last night. Lebanon did not want to move the game to last night. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why. Riverdale spreads it out. They play wide open, like to score fast, and Lebanon's kind of the opposite, right? They want to control the ball, pound you with the running game. So with rain coming tonight, one would think that Lebanon thinks that gives them an advantage, but it's real easy for Riverdale. They need to control the ball, control the line of scrimmage, which is not going to be easy to do. They've got a really nice quarterback in Gavin Hampton. He's got over 2,300 passing yards, 26 touchdowns on the year. He's got 2 legit targets in Corbin Reynolds. Corbin has 41 receptions, 793 yards, and 13 touchdowns on the year. Remember, he's the Loretto transfer. Some were wondering if 6A football would be too big for him. Not at all. And then his partner, the freshman Luke Trich, has 500 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. So got some nice weapons that they can have, but Riverdale knows they need to be able to kind of control the line of scrimmage. Their offensive coordinator, Justin Barnes, does a fantastic job. He's been with Coach Kreisky now for several years, and he's just really done a great job developing that offense. But main reason they want to control the ball is to keep the ball away from, and one, he's one of my favorite players, but also the all-name team this year, running back Gian Izetta. He's the real deal. He's a load. He had 31 carries, 252 yards, and 2 touchdowns versus Gallatin alone. He's got over 850 yards on the year, and he's only played in 6 games because he was banged up earlier in the year. So he's a big physical running back that if you don't wrap him up, he's going to get yards after the carry and extend drives and most importantly, keep that explosive Riverdale offense off the field. But pretty cool matchup here. A lot of ties. Chuck Gentry, the Lebanon coach, cut his teeth under Jimmy Maynard, in my opinion, one of the all-time legends in high school coaching. And then obviously Jimmy Maynard was with Coach Rankin at Riverdale when they first got that thing, building that thing into the monster it is now. So pretty cool ties here. I love this game. And here's the cool thing. You got to think Maryville's going to win. So the winner will go to Maryville next week in round 2 playoffs.
God, dog, what a travel, man. Well, speaking of traveling, 4 and 5 Independence got to go to Clarksville. They got a shot, Independence, or Clarksville have been pretty dominant this year?
I think so. I think this is another game that if Coach Blade would have had his way, they would have played last night. But who knows what's going to happen with the weather. But, man, we talked about them a couple weeks ago, but Clarksville lost their first 2 games of the year. And then they've won 8 straight, and man, they've looked really good doing it. And as we mentioned earlier, a couple of weeks ago for the region championship, they defeat Antioch on TV. Lucas and Bruno were on the call, and it wasn't even close, right? Clarksville dominated that game, so I would think it's really the same game plan against Independence. The offensive line needs to control the line of scrimmage, which they did against Antioch. And let those 2 big running backs, Jamarcus Watkins and Avare Galbraith, Harry Love's cousin, right?
Yeah.
Let those 2 guys pound them, which y'all saw that. They're really good running backs. I think Coach Shelby probably, in what he's done at Clarksville, 3 straight region championships, I don't think they probably get enough credit. But that being said, same kind of deal. Independence's offense, when they're clicking, is really explosive. It's different than the way Antioch does it, but they got loose for 49 points last week against Summit in the border battle, and Matthew Horner had 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but he's got a lot of guys that he can spread it around to. Hendricks Harvey, Hunter Mullen, George Mayberry are guys that have all had big seasons for him, but I think it really comes down to 2 things, which is kind of sounds cliche, but can Independence protect their quarterback, give him time? If they do, Coach Blade's been known to carve people up, and then also can they stop Clarksville's running game, which in the last 8 weeks nobody's been able to do.
Tate Matthews, the last game we'll ask you about tonight, CPA and Lipscomb Academy. This is a big-time rivalry, and CPA has had 3 losses by a touchdown or less this season, including at Knoxville Catholic a couple weeks ago. They lose to McCauley to finish the season. Lipscomb put up a fight against undefeated Brentwood Academy last week. They fell short. What do you see in this matchup?
Well, if at the beginning of the year, and especially 2 or 3 years ago, I would tell you somebody would have told you number 6 CPA 2-8 would be traveling to number 3 Lipscomb Academy 3-7. You would have probably thought they were on some. They were out of their mind, right?
Right.
Something they found on the ground, Tate, right?
So, anyways. It's crazy, right? But that's how crazy this D2 AAA league is now. No need to get into their schedules, CPA schedules. It's been talked about a lot. But also, you look at Lipscomb Academy's schedule. I mean, their losses are all to top teams in the state as well. One to Christian Brothers out of Missouri, not the one in Memphis. But, man, I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch. J.C. White, the Lipscomb Academy quarterback, he's number 3 in the mid-state in passing. He's closing in on 2,500 yards and close to 20 touchdowns. And pretty cool story there, right? He was at Brentwood last year, transfers over, and he's had a great year. He's got one of the most explosive targets in the mid-state and probably the best two-way guy in the mid-state, and Cam Blivens. So I think, they're going to, I don't think they're going to change anything that they've done all year long. They're going to try to throw the football. CPA secondary is, a lot of those guys are younger, or first year starters. And, if you know anything about them, they believe in keeping the ball in front of them and making them line up and play again. And sooner or later, the longer those drives get, probably going to turn the ball back over to you. So I would think you would see Lipscomb Academy try to exploit the passing game. But CPA's got a really nice quarterback on their side, too, with Jack Van Orman and another one of the most explosive guys in the mid-state when he's healthy, Owen Cabell. I think Owen's good to go tonight. One thing that I hate, people know about it, so it's no surprise. Ross Patterson, the great CPA running back, he's out now for the rest of the season with an injury, so that hurts. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun game. Throw the records out anytime these two get together, and plus, when you look at the losses, these are the 2 best 2-8 and 3-7 teams in the state, probably in the Southeast. So it's going to be fun. But hey, side note, real quick, Trey Adams, our good friend, the defensive coordinator for CPA, today is his 40th birthday.
Nice.
Hey.
So want to wish Coach Trey Adams a very happy birthday. He's a great coach and a fine man. And to tell you how good of a guy he is, when he got here, I did not want to like him at all. Because he used to be the ECS head coach, and they beat CPA in 2019 in Cookeville at the Clinic Bowl, and that was my oldest son's last game. So I got over it and found out what a great guy is, and I love him and want to wish him a happy birthday.
Love it. Good stuff, Tate. Appreciate the time as always. Tomorrow morning, of course, you'll be recapping all of it for High School Sports Saturday here on The Zone. We appreciate you. We'll do it again next week.
And by the way, Tate, I know where your tailgate is now, Circle Park.
Hey, brother, we want you there every week. That was great. We had all the celebrities coming in, but everybody was excited to meet Ramon. Yeah. Hey, those Boomer Sooner people were excited to meet you, right?
They were. They absolutely were, man. It was nice. You had a good vibes tailgate, man. That's what I know, and I'll be back. That's for sure.
That nothing would make me happier, brother. Enjoy your weekend off.
You too.
Thank you, Tate. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. There's Tate Matthews with us here this morning previewing the high school football slate. Coming up next, a man who needs no further introduction other than Ron Slay after this.
Prince's Hot Chicken, the original hot chicken. They know a thing or two about hot, so they are bringing you the hottest moments of the week from Ramon and Will. Justin Hawkins here. This is a segment I like to call Prince's Hot Mic.
You ever seen the videos of horses like in their retirement and they play the starting horn sound and their heads raise up? Well, it's a thing. It's a real thing. Crazy Train does that for me.
Okay.
It does. You saw me over here bopping
I just
and
saw
bouncing.
your head down, just bouncing up and down like, yeah.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
That's me. That's my starting horn sound right there, because for 11 years, Pittsburgh did it every kickoff of at the beginning of the game. Crazy Train got me going. I am a trained horse at this point. The Colts received that this weekend, and guess who we're going to talk about now? Look at me being a radio pro.
The locked in department called and said Ramon was in charge this morning.
Come on, man.
Hot mics and hot chicken. Prince's knows hot. Prince's Hot Chicken, the original hot chicken.
Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. A human energy drink has entered the building, and his name is Ron Slay. Just general foolishness happening off air that is about to be brought onto the airwaves. Good morning. How are you?
I can't believe this, man.
Man, what's happening, good people, man?
I can't believe this, man.
So
hey,
what Robert Walsh is in the middle of a conversation between the two of you about what? What's happening?
And he don't even know, first of all.
Okay.
He know, but he don't.
But he don't know.
He don't at all. So here's the lead up to what happened, okay?
Right now,
Thursday is my haircut day. I'm going to go get that. As long as the government let me write this haircut tax off, I'm going to continue to do it. You hear me?
News to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, haircuts. It's performance. We're on TV.
Let me
It's
get my
work-related
CPA on the
expense
phone.
right there.
Oh, he ain't lying.
So I go in the barbershop. We sitting outside. I'm talking to my barber, Dion, and Anthony. He's in there too, Mr. Anthony. And we just shooting the bobo. You feel me?
Shooting the bobo.
And my barber's like, man, hand me your phone real quick. Pull your camera up. I was like, what you doing, Dion? He's like, your waves are popping right now. Okay? So, I'm hyped because this is my first time having waves in all my life. I've always been just screw it and just roll type of guy. Throw it out. I ain't never had waves, and I done tried. So I send this picture to Savage them, and my waves are gleaming, okay? Like, I got the ridges in there. I was like, man, I heard y'all was trying to go swimming.
He getting off.
And I said, here goes some water for you because my waves is popping, okay? The first message said from Josh, my brother-in-law, he hyping you up. And Ron said, ain't this about I know that ain't nothing but a box of dark and lovely. Nardo gets in there and said he got an S-curl kit in his hair. They hated on me so hard.
Moral of the story is never try to hype yourself up in the group chat.
Hype me up.
Let your brothers hype you up at the group chat.
Be your own ones, man. Be your own ones, Willie. See that right there, Willie? This is what you got to understand. We in competition with everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really a iron sharpens iron thing. You know what I mean? We all pulling for each other. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we gonna hate too, though. You know what I mean? At the same time. So when I saw that, I said, oh, okay. I got to go get back on my, you know what I mean? My resume, you feel me? So I went old school, Will. Now, all the brothers out there, you know what I mean, with that texture of hair like we got, this is what I'm telling you. It's a certain way to go get them waves, you feel me? But it's a whole process, Willie.
It is.
So it's one process, a little cheat code. You get in the shower, you bring your brush, the hard bristle brush, you know what I mean? You shampoo it, and the way you gonna lay it down, that's the way you gotta brush it. Why the shampoo in there? You know what I mean? You usually do about 1 or 2 minutes. I went 5 minutes. Really.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about my shoulder hurting. I feel like, man, what? I feel like I'm Randy Johnson, been on the mound all night. You know what I mean? Throwing all kind of heat. You know what I mean? So I get up out of there, rinse it out. You know what I mean? Jump in the mirror, brush it a little bit more, then slam dunk that do-rag on there. Tight, Willie. Listen, this how you know when people really try and get them waves. When they had that line on their forehead, they been sleeping, it's too tight. You probably ain't got no circulation going to your brain or nothing because you're making a sacrifice. I'm going to be dumb, but my waves going to be dumber. You feel me? Yes. It's just going to be a whole different level. But when you take it off, you got to rub your little forehead a little bit, you know what I mean? Make sure everything get the wrinkles, the creases out, you know what I mean? Then that blood get the flowing and everything back cool. But when you pop that thing off and brush a couple times, Willie, ooh, that bad boy's supposed to be spinning if you did the right thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
it's a different world.
I'm just saying we all in competition, man. You know what I mean?
But you brought Bert in this, though.
Hey, man, guess what? Hey, listen, I walked in there with Bert.
Here's the thing, I believe Bert because Bert knows a little bit about everything.
So do a little bit about everything.
He's multicultural, man.
Yes, he is. I walk in there. I'm eating some peanuts, so I give Pan a pound. You know what I mean? Pan and eating something Savage done got, man, and talking about this the best thing in the world. I've never heard Pan say something is gross. Never in my entire life ever heard him say something is gross. He said it was the best espresso brownie or something. I don't know what it is, but
banana bread.
He was enjoying it. So Bert's behind him. Bert stand up to give me, you know what I mean, some love, but I got the peanuts in my hand, and I step back. He was like, you had something in your hand. Give me them knuckles, you know what I mean? And when I stepped back, I guess the light was hidden.
Oh, hell.
And he said, man, hey, man, and them waves getting down up there. I said, Bert, don't you finish that sentence. You come right in this studio and you relay that message to Savage, man. And here we are for the present moment. Stealing competition.
Bert right now.
That's my dog.
I hate
So that's
Bert
what
right
we were
now.
dealing with coming into the segment.
And he talks so much. He talks so much trash. So he just Savage just leaned against the wall. and said, Look at him.
Yeah, tell
you
him.
hear
Bert.
that splashing? Ain't nothing but me.
Yeah, tell him, Bert. That's all. That's all. Bert for president, man.
Well, I just learned a lot this morning. That's
you
great.
did.
Yeah, Willie. That's culture indulgence right there.
there you go.
At the end of the week, right there.
So I got mine in soccer and hockey.
I was in it. That was a cool segment too, and I was like, okay. But I gotta say, we do got a little young phenom out here, man. Terrence Reynolds, the third. Hey, getting ready to go to Georgetown at the midway point in December.
Yeah,
just keep your eyes open. You know what I mean? Like So this is why I got engulfed in soccer because of him, in football. Because of him. You know what I mean? But we the originator of football.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? So I've been watching him, and dog, he a wizard with that ball. He's a wizard with that ball over at Innsworth, right? Oh my good gosh. Hey man. The man playing basketball with a football. I'm telling you, it's different, dog.
It's kind of what it's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
For
so
sure.
y'all keep your eyes open, and you know what I mean? So we got something to pull for from here, you know what I mean? One of our own, man. So it's going to be interesting to watch him. Man, Georgetown got a good little program, huh?
They are a very good program.
Okay, so
they're good at a lot of non-revenue sports.
Yeah, there you go.
You ain't doing number winning today, and I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Nashville SC
Get 'em out of here,
Inter
Will.
Miami tomorrow night. We'll have the coverage
Get
at
'em out of
6:30 here in the zone. Nashville in last Saturday's game. While we're on the topic, let me just take a minute here.
Yeah,
ended a 33-match unbeaten run for Miami when they were held or when they conceded 2 or fewer goals. 33 straight games where Miami, when they had given up 2 or less, they had won or drawn, and Nashville ended that last Saturday. So we got a chance.
It's just a powerhouse down there.
That's
Gonna be
all
fun.
that is,
man.
Going to be fun. Tennessee is the subject of a lot of discussion this week, Ramon and Slay. And I thought our good friend Jason Swain made a good point that a lot of the discourse is a funny word, about Josh Heupel in Tennessee is coming from a very loud yet very small portion of the Tennessee fan base.
Yeah.
What is fair pressure on Josh Heupel the way this season has gone, Slay, and what is unfair noise and people that don't know what they really should want for themselves and complaining about something they don't really need to be complaining about that we shouldn't even pay attention to? Where's the balance for you on this football team?
Man, I think it is where, like we said in the beginning of the season, man, even in the spring, like the same energy that you're championing him with about putting the foot forward in the program and, you know what I'm saying, like putting the power T before anybody else. Like, have that same energy once we get to mid-October, mid-November. Like, remember what you went through. So those expectations, people were saying that, hey, man, we understand it's going to be an uphill climb, this, that, and the other. We don't expect to be that great. The over-under was set at 8.5 for a minute, moved up to 9 even. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, that's where our ceiling is. That's cool. If we can reach that, we all right. You know what I mean? We may have to sacrifice a year to get everything in order, get the pieces right now. Granted, you didn't know what you were going to be missing with the injuries and everything. You kind of try to take that into an account. But you didn't know what Joey Aguilar was going to be either. You know, I think when you think about that, you can't move the goalpost.
Right.
It got to stay right there. It's not fair to move it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not fair to move it back. It's not fair to move it forward. Let's evaluate this as what it is and then move on. After that, then you evaluate the season as a whole. Now, in-game decisions, can they be made differently? Absolutely.
No doubt.
They can be made differently by players. They can be made differently by coaches. They can be made differently by units as a whole. Do you take that and say, man, we condemn him then for not being able to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Keep the same energy.
Yeah, it's a bonehead move. Cool. Great. All right, straight. But don't forget the bonehead seasons you were having versus this bonehead move. You know what I'm saying? Right. So does he have to take a look in the mirror in the offseason? Absolutely. He should be doing that every single year. They did it this offseason coming into this year. But you got to do that every year. Self-evaluation is growth. That's part of the process.
For sure.
You look at what they did on West End. Clark Lee did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he evaluate, dude, I can't handle all this. I got to get something up. It's just, this is what it is. I got to give something up. Brian Callahan, you look at the Titans situation. He didn't want to give nothing up. And he ran them little self off. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of it. You know what I mean? So the self-evaluation is key. Then you take an overall look and say, okay, how can we all get better after I get myself better? That's how I think it ought to be evaluated. All the people that's screaming and hollering, all that is, man, you brought the barbershop. A good buddy of mine told me you brought the barbershop and the beauty salon to social media. That's all it is.
It is.
That's all it is. These are the exact same conversations when you're in the barbershop, you act like you sleep. So you ain't got to hear nothing or respond to nobody. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. This time, when you click on hit like, now they like, oh, yeah, they really listening to me. Hey, man, you remember when I said that? Then he on his Twitter like, oh, man, yeah, you did say that. So it just spews, everybody and it is. Everybody got something.
It's like what, well, we've talked about this before. Not all of us were meant to be in the same classroom for a reason.
Yeah, because you're disturbing. For real.
And on social media, we're all in the same classroom.
Man, listen, man. My buddies, man, I had plenty of buddies in DO9, man. I used to, and if you don't know what DO9 is, man, y'all need to go study, look it up. That's an old school term. We used to go down there, man, rest in peace, Coach Booth. He used to be teaching, and Coach Booth would be like, man, don't y'all come here longer than 5 minutes. Like, y'all, you don't, boy, go on back to class because they down here acting the fool. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, man, darn, coach, they is acting the fool damn. But it was entertaining at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was entertaining to try to see him teach. You know what I mean? So it was a whole thing. Their 5 minutes felt like 50. You know what I mean? But then you leave out there, you're like, all right, man, let me go get some act right. You know what I mean? Go where I belong. So you're absolutely right, Will Lee. It's distractions to everybody. That's why they always say, all right, you acting a fool in class? Come sit up by me by the teacher. So hopefully, you know what I mean, you getting closer to supervision make you be like, all right, man, I got to act right. The whole class looking at me. Or sometimes that make you act even a bigger fool.
Makes you act even more.
So then they got to be like, hey, man, go to the office. We ain't got time for you. So
there's no office to go
to.
Man. Real, though.
You're right, man. That's what it is, Savage.
I tested bad one year on my standardized test, and I had my social study class on the other hallway.
Yeah.
I was the smartest fool in there. You hear me? I wasn't dumb at all. I was very smart. Yeah. I had a blast in that second hallway. We openly cheating on tests.
Yeah, it's cool. Just get it done.
Yeah, I guess the statute of limitations is probably up by this point.
Yeah, Drew.
7th grade social studies class was I had a blast in that class.
Back then, too, they would make it like colors of like you're in the red math class or you're in blue math, which meant you're like red, you need to stop and do easier math, or blue, like you're in the good class.
Initially, I was embarrassed until I realized how fun it was.
It's a ball.
It was a ball in there.
Oh, I'm in blue history. You're in green history. Nice.
Yeah, like 8th grade, I tested back up, and that's when we need our fans to do test back up.
Yeah, test back up and be cool, man. Like, it's okay to be in this. I know it's a struggle, but if you look around, everybody's struggling.
And everybody firing their coaches.
Like
unless you're Ohio State. That's about it.
They the only ones that's valedictorians.
And guess what? And they wanted to.
They did.
They couldn't wait to.
They did.
Before that playoff run, they could not wait to.
They still testing bad in one class.
That's what I'm saying.
They can't pass the Michigan course.
They sure can't.
That's true.
Yeah,
they got to go to the big house this year, too.
They do.
And they supposed to run them. This will be the year.
How worried are you? Yeah, maybe.
Supposed to.
How worried are you for Vandy and against Auburn?
You know what? I was I'm a little torn on that one because we talk about the interim bump, you know what I mean, and getting that little extra little oomph to go fight and, you know what I mean, show the pride and the love for it. And I think if it was anybody else other than the defensive coach that was getting the interim, I think I would be saying Vandy gonna run him out of there. But with him being a defensive coach, I do expect them to try to hold as long as they can. I don't know what they're gonna do offensively, but I expect it to be low scoring. Todd Furman came on with us and was saying he would take the under on this game just because. It'd be a hell of a battle defensively, but I just think, man, Vanderbilt just got too much more to play for. And at some point, the levee will break for Auburn, man. It's all that hope. Unless Vanderbilt does something crazy and takes risk, and that defense or special teams scores. Yeah. They do that, y'all in trouble.
Got a chance.
Yeah, in trouble.
That's going to be fascinating. Just that in general. Do you believe Vandy's over the hump of that mindset? Because Will and I spoke about that earlier. Like, Auburn got to fight it because you trash and we know you trash. Yeah. Vandy has historically been bad. Can they get over? Do you believe more in Clark Lee on this one?
I'm going to tell you why I believe in Clark Lee and his culture in this reason here. You play who's in front of you, and it is what it is, regardless of what they got going on. It's a hurt quarterback. It's a quarterback that sucks. This is the team that we got to play. Now, I do think they've been, because of their schedule and the way things are shaking out injury-wise, it's been great for them. You know what I'm saying? But, Alabama was healthy. They gave them a run for their money.
We sure did.
Texas, Arch came in healthy, coming over by a week. Like, he gave them a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? Purpula, he went out. Sellers, even though I think Vandy was going to beat them regardless, but he went out and made it easier. Who was it was one more. Nussmeier came in banged up.
Sure
you know
did.
what I'm saying? So, I mean, all of this has helped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You didn't get John Mateer with 2 weeks in and trying to figure out again who he is, and he get his mojo. And your defense is better. So not to compare the two, but you got a team right here that's coming in reeling also. And a backup quarterback. Does Jackson Arnold still sit? Like, it's in disarray. So you play that to your advantage. And whoever's in front of you, play them like they're the best in the world, and they've been great at handling who's in front of them if they got a weakness or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the only reason I roll with them in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's not to lack anything they did.
That's fair. The college basketball season has begun.
It has, Will. Thank you.
The Tennessee basketball Vols are 1-0. We will talk about them coming up next. This time of year when you've got family coming around the house during all of the holidays, we're all thinking of maybe that one family member that does not hear as well as they used to. Unfortunately, maybe your family members think that is you. Well, Brentwood Hearing Center has revolutionary technology, the latest hearing device technology to make sure that you are not missing out on conversation. When you are in crowded environments and noisy restaurants and places where there's a bunch of different conversations going on at once, you got to make sure that you are hearing clearly the person right beside you, the person across from you, not the table behind you. If you think this could help you or a family member go online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. Their doctors of audiology will take care of you. Conveniently located at the Brentwood Old Hickory exit right off of I-65. You can call them 615-377-0420. Brentwood Hearing Center will get you out off the sidelines and back in the game. Online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. That's Brentwood Hearing Center. Better hearing, better life. Ramon will wrapping up the show and wrapping up the week, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Ron Slay in studio. Tennessee going to take on Northern Kentucky in men's basketball tomorrow. A win over the Mercer Bears. Shout out Macon, Georgia. That's where my mom's from.
From Macon?
Yeah.
Who
Macon,
else?
Georgia.
A rapper from Macon?
Stephen Godfrey from Macon, Georgia.
Stephen Godfrey.
Stephen Godfrey is going to be on the show at 7:20 on Monday. I'm going to do something really stupid, by the way, real quick.
Oh, did do that. Hell yeah.
I am doing Home Alone radio on Monday.
Hey, that's all. Hey.
For 4 hours. With no one.
With who?
With no one.
Just you. Home Alone
I'm
radio.
going to have guests, but...
Man, let me know if you need me to
Justin,
do
obviously,
something, Will.
is
You
with
need
us,
me to
but-
call in. You want to have a basketball segment or something, man. Golly.
That might be do it.
That might be doing it.
Yes. Darn, Will lead 4 hours.
If you need me Monday afternoon, no, you don't.
Yeah, no, for real.
Tennessee, Northern Kentucky over the week. This upcoming weekend, Vols beat Mercer by 15. Sloppy.
Yeah.
Offensively, Rick Barnes was critical of some of the passes. How long is it going to take for this rotation to get set? Because you got a lot of dudes who have never played basketball before playing basketball together.
Yeah, I'll stand on it, man. I say mid-December is when it ought to come together, and you ought to see a real gel as far as that 8-9-man rotation when SEC season begins, January, I think 3rd or 4th. But it's going to be interesting to watch it, how he handles it, because you got different guys emerging that you definitely didn't expect. Like, I honestly thought Dwayne Brown would come in, and he may pick up a couple of minutes early, but that's going to be a red shirt project, knowing what he has in front of him. And now he's pushing it to the limit. Like, well, hey, dog, now you look crazy if you don't find no time for me. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You got to get him some time. Man, great problem to have, especially in the front court, when you can bully guys, and rebounding is going to be key to get second opportunities and control the boards to finish up defensive possession. So you got him, Amari Abrams. You got guys, Henderson, who's coming off the bench. Like
I like him.
Yeah, he's slowly trying to, put his name in the hat to be able to get it more time. And I think the spot that you have open is that other wing spot, regardless if it's a shorter guy or a 6'5" guy like you're trying to replace a guy like Meshack or whatever. But it is a spot open. And so I think guys going to be vying for that. And that's going to come with, ball handling, leadership, being able to let Jacoby get off the ball and play at the 2, put the 8 men in good spots, and then being able to defend and be a pest. I think that's one of the biggest things. You got to be able to find that guy that can take people out of their normal routine of running offense. You know what I mean? Zakai was the best at it. You know what I mean? And then when they gave it to somebody else to bring up the court, you had Meshack to take him out of it. So you also started to see 4 men bringing the ball up against Tennessee, which is that's not good for your offense. You need a point guard bringing it up.
Sure.
So you kept people out of whack. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all comes into the fold, man. But Rick got his work cut out for him. He got a 10, 11 guys. And then you got J.P. Estrella still getting back used to playing with guys and not just working out on the side. So it's a great problem, like you said, Willie, a great problem to have. And then with all this happening, you still want to be able to have Nate Ament ascending. You know what I mean? Getting ready to, when he go into SEC play, to be one of them guys challenging for SEC freshman for the year for sure. And hopefully player of the year.
For sure.
There is, but there isn't just like a cakewalk to get to SEC play either. I'm looking at one, by the way, they're playing TSU also November 20th.
That's pretty good.
That's going to be pretty cool. SEC. Yep. But Rutgers got Houston in this players era, men's championship. In Vegas.
Yes.
And on top of that, you walk into it with Syracuse and also Illinois and Louisville, Savage, and it's Music City Madness tournament.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty dope right there. You got some teams that you playing. They got some new teams in the fold. They got freshmen. They got veteran coaches. It's gonna be. They got the work cut out. They will be tested in all different forms. You know what I mean? They kind of get you ready for SEC play, the physicality that you'll get, you know what I mean, the different zone defenses that you'll get, the different people that need to step up, especially with a team like Louisville. Like, that's Louisville loaded, man. Kelsey doing a terrific job up there putting this group together, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle Louisville because they got a deep rotation too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to be trying to figure some things out. So you got them. Is that in Nashville? Or that's in
Knoxville. Illinois is in Nashville, on December 6th.
Yeah, so that's good that you got it at home. You know what I mean? Like, especially they're gonna be looking for some get back. What you did to them at Louisville. You know what I mean? Last year that was that was a coming out party
out of their own gym.
Ooh, man, I mean smooth out there, and it wasn't even in question. So yeah, that ought to be fun, man. Kelsey is a competitor, so he'll keep that in the back of his head. Plus, Lil Ferg, Coach Chris Ferguson's son, is up there on the bench, so
nice.
Be like a little coming
Was
home
it
point.
real quick overreaction with Lil Pearl and Auburn and Cookman match?
I don't think so. I don't think it's an overreaction. I think it is exactly what it is. Like, you got to find guys to jail, and you've always had that experience and elder statesmen to lean on in those games. So that's one of them situations. You come out and play a team like that. It's a close game. You give it to Janai Broome 5 straight times. He scored 4 out of 5, and you get that 8 to 10 point gap. Put that pressure defense on them, and then the jungle explodes. You know what I'm saying? And you run on off. That's not the case right now. You know what I mean? They're key guys to Hod Pettiford in the sophomore role who, man, looks like, man, there's going to be some picking apart of his game. It almost looked like he maybe should have left. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to be one of them situations that he got to hurry up and go on and start hitting that trajectory, because right now he's still idle. And I love him. I love him as a player, man. And he got his head on his shoulders right, but, man, he ain't doing what he's supposed to do as far as being the leader for that group and being able to take all that responsibility on his shoulders. You know what I mean? So
different.
Yeah, it's different. And it ain't got no rim protection. So Auburn going to have – Auburn, man, hot take, man. I would think, man, I would say Auburn may miss the NCAA tournament.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think they may miss it. But I also think thrust into that role would be a LSU. I think LSU will be fighting for a spot to get into the NCAA tournament. Also, South Carolina should be fighting.
And
South
Vandy
Carolina
again.
should be getting, Vandy, no question. I think Vandy will be
Vandy's picked 11th in the SEC. It's like they may not have as much pure talent, and they do still have talent.
Yes,
but like,
they do.
That team knows what it is.
Yep.
It feels like Auburn is kind of in real time trying to figure out who are we again now under Stephen Pearl.
And then the people that come back, these are the teams that are going to have a better run. The teams that were able to bring back some nucleus of last year, like Kentucky, Arkansas, Florida was able to bring. Vandy, even though they lost a lot in the portal, you're able to bring back McLaughlin and Tyler Tanner, Tyler Nickel as well. Then you just add the pieces. Duke Miles was another one that came from Oklahoma, so they cool. You know what I mean? South Carolina returned some guys. Like, it's the people that were able to return people, they're gonna have a good opportunity. Buckyball at Texas A&M ought to be interesting to watch. That's a good way to put it. Good way to put it.
It's like Kim Caldwell ball in SEC men's basketball, which is going to be really fascinating.
Was that loss? It is what it is.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Oh, they're gonna be fine.
If they'd had Ruby Whitehorn, like losing Ruby Whitehorn before the first game,
just out here wilding. It's all right. Should be cool.
Threw it all away.
Tripping, man.
Should be all right.
Back at it Monday morning. Ramon, have a good trip to Mexico City.
Man, my dog going down there.
Ramon going international.
Vato Locos home.
I will be here by myself on Monday. Looking forward to it.
Hey, Bert, you a liar. You a liar, Bert.
Hey, catch them waves in Mexico City, man.
Bert said you wish you had some waves to ride down there.
This
You'd be
is what
cool.
I'm going to tell y'all, all right? Call your people, love your people. Maybe some of them, okay? We more alike than we are different. ELE, man. Everybody love everybody except for Bert Walsh. But I love you, Bert. Peace.